Hey, all you freaks and geeks out there in podcast land. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by our friends over at Greenbelt Botanicals. Greenbelt Botanicals is the most trustworthy and reputable CBD dispensary and retailer in the Austin area. And if you're not in the Austin area and you can't drop in physically to one of their multiple stores around the city, then make sure to hit them up at greenbeltbotanicals.com. Whether you're shopping in-store or online, make sure you're using that official Freaks and Geeks promo code at checkout to receive 15% off. And that code is all caps, FootDoctor15. That's FOOTDR15. And that's going to get you 15% off your purchase in-store or online. I was just at the South Lamar location where we filmed the official Green Room specials there, where we filmed the last episode, and I had to pick up some new smokables. Some of the strains that you can expect to see there are the White Walker, the Granddaddy Lemon, and the new one I liked is the P52, also the Sour Space Candy. Talking about that Delta 8 THC, they got that too. So the smokable strain over there they got is that Bubba Kush. They also got the Delta 8 in the tinctures. They got the CBD tinctures. They got the CBD dog treats. They got it all. They got a whole bunch of stuff. I was really amazed and really just blown away by all the new inventory they got in there for the 2021 year, Freaks and Geeks. So hit up Greenbelt Botanicals in-store or online for all your CBD needs. Remember, that's greenbeltbotanicals.com. Freaks and Geeks, please support the sponsor because the sponsor supports the podcast. And now, on to the show. January the 13th. Welcome, Freaks and Geeks, to another smoke-filled and jam-packed episode of the Doctor's Orders podcast with the 512 Foot Doctor. The podcast where I meet with some of the most creative and influential people I know to share stories from the ride of life. As always, I'm your host, the 512 Foot Doctor, coming at you live and direct from the studio of Life or Death. If you are a returning freak or geek, thank you very much for checking back into our regularly scheduled appointment. And if you are tuning in for the first time, well, welcome and thank you for being here as well. And welcome to the Freaks and Geeks family. Make sure you buckle up for the ride. Freaks and Geeks, here we go. We got episode number 19 of the podcast. A tremendous episode. This one's a doozy. I tell you that much. There's a lot of information. There's a lot of details, and there's a lot of just out of sight fucking stories and directives that we got with this guest for today. So let's just get into it. Our guest for episode number 19 of the podcast is a native Texan. He's a father. He was an owner of an amazing shoe gallery deep in the heart of Deep Ellum, Texas, right on Elm Street. It was a beautiful shoe gallery, and I think of it fondly and often. It holds a good spot in the doctor's heart. So, and most recently, he's been throwing it down with a little project, a little ring they got going on, a little disco he's been presenting and being a part of. He's the DJ for Debbie Does Disco, a hot and happening disco that's been going down and been holding down the Dallas area. So here we go, episode number 19, Brandon Ayala. What's going on, bud? How you doing today?
Chilling, man. Thanks for having me. How's things up there in Austin, man?
Oh, but it got cold today. I don't know. They say it's going to snow in 5 days. That's probably not going to happen. But man, just ins and outs, just trying to get around the city. They got the whole city in the fifth stage of whatever they're considering it, and nobody really cares. Not myself, I do, but there's a lot of the area that's like, yeah, we're done with this. It's 2021. We're done with this. I'm like, y'all need to reconsider that, you know what I'm saying? But Happy New Year, G. I know we're a couple of days in, and this is the second episode of this year. So thank you very much for that. But as far as down here, man, there's I don't know if you know, but there's a big movement for comedy moving down here, man. This used to be the music capital, the live music capital of the world. And then the music died again on March 13th. And now the comedians are coming down and trying to support that. I got a couple of people that I know that have come down from out of state, and they're throwing down and getting funny as shit on a Monday night live.
That's cool.
But that's it on this side, man.
Yeah. The rumor is Rogan's going to open up a comedy spot over there too, right?
So, yeah, that's the rumor. I mean, he'll talk it into truth. But what I'm thinking is, because I was downtown on Monday to see some comedy boys that came into town, and it was a fucking ghost town. And all the music venues just toasted. And I'm like, this is going to be revamped. This is just waiting to be revamped. Just because of
you would
COVID.
think that they would want to promote comedy, because comedy, for the most part, you're chilling on your table.
Yeah.
You're not moving around and dancing and kind of like spreading any, quote unquote cooties or anything.
Exactly.
Everybody's, for the most stuff, they're posted up. But I played a new place that opened up in Fort Worth, and normally on the space where the dance floor would normally be at. They set up a bunch of church pews.
Okay.
It's called Tulips in Fort Worth. Really nice space. Huge. It's almost like Trees in Dallas. It's a venue. It's going to hold up to like 600 people. Yeah. So it's a big dance floor, and they put church pews instead. So, people are kind of just chilling there. They set up their little spot. They're doing their 6 feet, having their drinks, but still able to see some live music. So I thought that was innovative, and, it was fun. It was a good space, but everybody's just trying to do the best that they can with what they got, man.
I think people are getting tired. I mean, venues are getting tired of it too. Because who did I hear this morning had a list of fucking Red Rocks. Red Rocks put out their 2021 concert schedule. It only has 50 people on it, but they're like, buddy, we got to keep going. Because
humanity has to continue. We will prevail.
Yeah.
So that's that. Nobody's gonna stop life.
Yeah.
From happening. I played for some reason I've been playing a lot in Fort Worth, and it's cool. I'm liking it. They've got a nice little scene going on up there. They got their own kind of swag. You see a lot of like Pendleton flannels, some Stetson hats, and these dudes are rocking it the way it's supposed to be rocked. So I see what they're doing. They're doing their own little niche, and then they're doing this live music situation. And but I played a warehouse that was out there. That's out there, and what do they call function? And they're trying to do underground parties, but unfortunately, because of the situation, it's, again, like you said, it's a ghost town.
Yeah.
But I saw a group of these kids, and they're like all 21 to like 25, 27, and they're out there in this warehouse, and they're wanting to dance. What normally would be a warehouse just full of like 300 people, just having the time of their lives. And these kids are, despite the situation, they're not doing anything other than trying to be that 27-year-old kid that they are.
I know, man. Like I
like
that as
dance
well.
So, it's interesting, man. It's interesting, but
like consider, and I don't want to ponder on it too much, but like that's all the doors are closed for a cat that's just fucking ready to fucking paint the town red and destroy everything in its sight. You know what I'm saying? It's a fucking full of adrenaline, or not necessarily adrenaline, just ready to go and experience. And it's like, you're gonna do it in front of a TV screen.
Yeah, it's like, sorry, bro, you can't be 25, you can't be 27, you can't be 21. You can't do, even if it's go out and get in trouble, bro. Some people, that's what they need to do at that age to then grow, but it's a thin line, man, because it's like, everybody wants to be safe, and it is hitting close to home with the situation, but at the same time, we gotta live. You gotta live. You gotta live your life.
Definitely do, and that's what we're gonna do right here on this episode. So, I didn't ask you, how's everything going over there? What's going on over there?
Everything's good, man. Like we were talking about, I was doing a monthly thing, and it was really cool, bro. It was in a dive bar, like off the beaten path. You went there on the other night besides on, and it was two dudes drinking Bud Lights, playing what's that thing called, shuffleboard.
Yeah.
But when we go in there, we completely transform it, we decorate it, we put our in there, and it just turned into a whole other situation. But so normally we were doing that, and we're doing that once a month, but now that this is closed, everything's closed, and unfortunately that place even closed for good. Damn. So trade winds, this one's for you.
RIP trade
winds. But so we've just had to be creative, bro, and figure out how we could continue the message, which the message is the music, and music is love.
Definitely.
You could go very, very deep on how you spread the message. So then I've created this Mixcloud page, and I've been doing recordings. I try to do one once a month. It's hard. There's been a couple months that I've skipped, but it's fun. And each month, it's specifically curated sets of records that I put together that I feel document the way that month felt.
Okay. Yeah, I listened to
during this situation.
I listened to the July one today because that's the birthday month, and I was like, oh shit, this is funky. So what's that? Would take you to Funky Land? That's oh shit, yeah, that was a jam right there. The Funky Land joint. Yeah. I really fuck with that.
Yeah, and that's my birthday month too, bro. So yeah, exactly. Like I wanted that one to be just a jam, bro. Like and
it got hot. It got hot in there for a little bit.
That one was really, really funky.
Hell yeah.
That was really funky, man. That was a good one.
Nice.
Just doing that and just really, plotting, man, for when, God willing, man, the situation does get better.
Yeah.
Things open up. We'll all be able to get back together and listen to music and dance and sing and hug and stuff. And when that does happen, I got big plans for Debbie Does Disco, not only in Dallas, but
good.
You might catch us in Austin in a dungy little warehouse.
Hell yeah, we hope to. We hope to. We need to learn more about that, and we are going to. But first, let's do the Heinz 57 Life Catch Up. Now, this is not sponsored. I wish it was.
Yeah,
it soon will be. Just a little introduction. Please introduce yourself to our audience for this episode and all episodes of the podcast, the Freaks and Geeks. Hey, Freaks and Geeks. So this is the Heinz 57 Life Catch Up. Tell us your name, where you're from, and what do you do? You've alluded to it a little bit, but let's take it all out there right now.
My name's Brandon. I'm originally from El Paso, born and raised. Graduated high school in 99, so I was the last of that millennia. And then immediately, as soon as I graduated high school, I moved to Dallas. I know anybody here.
You didn't know? Had you ever been here before?
Yeah, I'd been here before, like just like as a tourist and stuff.
Okay.
I'd hit Deep Ellum. I had a fake ID.
Yeah.
Got into trees and just fell in love with Deep Ellum. And it was, it's Dallas is cool, man, because you got a little bit of everything. If you want like that Brooklyn vibe, you got Deep Ellum. If you want the Hollywood vibe, you got Uptown, whatever. And I moved out here, and I've been here ever since, and I love it. I've met a lot of really cool people here. And, just basically I've grown up just the hip hop lifestyle, man. All the elements. So, I what got me here was graffiti. I started with graffiti and art. From that, I got really deep into breakdancing, and this is all in El Paso.
All right.
And we were like really deep into breakdancing, and at one time we had a battle, and we shared the cost of the venue with some ravers. And so once our B-boy battle finished, the ravers took over, and then it just went on into a party to the end of the night. And we actually won that battle back then. It was our little crew is called Rock Nonstop, and it was super dope, man. It was fun.
Nice.
And so then it finished, and we won. So normally when you win a battle, everybody just kind of circles around, and you guys just keep dancing, doing your thing.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. And then the house music started. And I heard it, and then I just stayed there, and I was like, let me see what's up. And a bunch of, fine looking girls started showing up, and people are dancing and having a good time. And next thing I know, it was like 7 a.m, and I was still at that spot. having a good time, So then that then led me into DJing, which, whether it's house music or disco or anything, it's DJing, and that is hip hop. And so my life has just been like traveling between all these different roads and stops of hip hop. And some of that's been music, some of it's been art, some of it's been sneakers, you name it, but It's all been hip hop, bro.
Definitely. Cool. So
it.
You talked about El Paso, you talked about graffiti.
Yeah.
One thing I think about that is also associated in El Paso is train yard. You ever fuck with any of that train graffiti, those train car graffitis or anything like that?
Man. Yeah, I mean, it's just so beautiful, man. I mean, to this day, I like stopping at a train stop because it's its own different thing. Even though it's a piece on a wall is nice and beautiful, but a piece on a train just has this extra feel to it, And there's a big train yard over there, and that is one of the biggest, most beautiful things about El Paso, man, is seeing all that graffiti on those trains. And my brother drives trains.
Okay.
So, that's how deep trains and all that stuff is part of my life too. So
yeah, that's dope. My uncle used to live in El Paso, so I went up there like twice. Young. Did you go to El Paso High or what's up?
No, I went to Austin High School, which was, here's a crazy story. So, El Paso is predominantly Mexican. I wouldn't even say Hispanic, you know what I mean? It's like, because we're right there, right at the border of Juarez. So 90-something% of people are Mexican in El Paso, except El Paso has the military base there, which, Fort Bliss. So because of Fort Bliss, then you get this added diversity into the city, right? But not the whole city, because it's only where Fort Bliss is, which is in the central part of El Paso. Then you have the east side, you have the west side, how these different. But I grew up in Central, and I grew up and I went to the high school that all the military kids went to. So it's like I was living in this predominantly Mexican town, border town, but I went to a high school with, you name it, every single, one of my best friends in
the military
school was a Japanese guy, Eric Khan, and he was like, I would have never met this Japanese dude if it wasn't because, for some reason or another, his parents were stationed in El Paso. Yeah. And same thing, I met a bunch of, Arab guys, black guys, which is unheard of. There's people in El Paso that had never seen anybody else other than Mexican people.
Yeah.
So, but for some reason or another, I just got blessed and I got lucky to be able to go to this certain high school that was just completely diverse, all sorts of culture. Yeah, it was cool, man.
All walks of life from all over the world, man, that have probably been moved a lot of places. They consider that all those military babies they go a lot of places. And
I remember hearing stories about them. It's like, where you coming from? It's like, oh well, I'm originally I was born in Italy, but I just got back from Germany where my dad was stationed there for such and such years, and just it's all culture, man, and it's all so interesting, and it's amazing. I was very blessed to be able to grow up like that in El Paso, and then still at the same time really deeply rooted in my Mexican roots,
Because right there.
To add to the craziness, my parents were split up, right? And so I would spend weekends with my dad. Well, my dad lives in Juarez. So I was going from this school, breakdancing, living this very diverse cultural hip hop life, and then going on the weekends straight up in Mexico, living that life, and then coming back.
That's man. That's a mirror right there. That's a two-way mirror right there, G.
Yeah,
that's
man.
Crazy.
It was really, really cool. Really cool.
I like that. So a little bit more on the El Paso, because this is I'm very interested in this. You ever have any spiritual ghostly encounters up there? It's it's a spirit-filled place. I felt when I went up there. A lot of high schools, a lot of stuff going out there. You got any stories of espíritus or anything like that?
Not ghosts per se, but the desert does have, like, you feel the desert, bro. You feel it. Yeah. And there in El Paso, you know, it's surrounded by mountains, and it's like almost being hugged by mountains, and in between the mountains is where El Paso is. So it's almost like it's like a cradle almost per se, but you feel things. If you're out in the desert in the dark with nothing around, you're gonna feel things.
Oh yeah.
You know, what that is, I don't know. You know, I want to say it's just the desert. It's part of the energies that are out there, and
that vibe.
You know, it could be our ancestors that are there checking up on us. Yeah. You know, you never know, but it is different. It is very different over there.
Cool. All right, so I love that, man. I love that. Just opening it up, we got a huge book here. What were you getting down into earlier today? What was going on with you earlier today? How was your day today?
Today, just well, it was pretty slow. I should have been doing a lot more work than I did, honestly, for my 9 to 5. But so this weekend, I just got back from me and a group of friends that actually helped me put together this Debbie Does Disco stuff. We rented a huge cabin in Broken Bow.
Oh,
yeah, man. So it was like huge. I think it was like 5 bedrooms.
Damn.
And so that was the way I celebrated New Year's. So I didn't go out on New Year's Eve. I don't, you know, even if it wasn't pandemic and all that stuff, I normally don't go out during New Year's.
It's not.
But so we celebrated the New Year this weekend on, you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we had it till Monday. So then I drove back from Oklahoma on Monday. And you know how you almost kind of have to have a vacation from vacation?
Yeah, that last 2 pickup days. You got to have a recoup day.
So that's where I've been at today.
I got you.
You know, I did some things. I answered some emails here and there.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you brought that up. I think I brought it up. My father used to travel a lot, and I was like, "Yo, I need 2 days or a day or two after. Yeah. We can't just because it was like, all right, we're gonna go travel out to West Texas, and then we're gonna come back, and the next day you're gonna go to school. Nah, not gonna work like that, guy. You have
to kind of reacclimate yourself. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you remember when you were young and you'd buy a goldfish and they'd tell you, okay, before you put it in the tank, you know, leave it in the little bag thing, put it in the tank. And
then, that's an analogy and a half, man. That's it right there. Hell yeah. Well, that's good.
That's where I'm at. And then we did record the night, so I got 6 hours worth of recording from the Broken Bow cabin, and so I've just been going through that and kind of going through it, and you know it's vinyl, bro. So sometimes you'll hear a little pop and you'll hear a click. So I go back in there and try to edit it as best as I can, and I did post the first part, so that's about 3 hours worth.
I saw that. I was listening to that. The Whiskey Nights, right?
It was Whiskey Nights.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I checked. I think that was the last one I checked out. I was on the clock, you know what I'm saying? Jamming out to your shit, man. Oh, and then I was like, all right, this is the last one we're going to do and then get ready to go talk to the dude.
Nice, man. Yeah. It was fun. That was the name of the cabin, actually.
Okay.
So it worked out perfect. I was a Whiskey Nights. So I was like, cool, let's do it. And it was fun, man. It was, you know, because so I think that's probably the next wave, bro. And I think a lot of people are going to start Airbnb situations.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, where, you know, a good group of close friends, you know, maybe it's that, you know, is being safe.
Yeah.
Have been, you know, quarantined for the most part or whatever. Yeah. Get together, go out somewhere into the wilderness, get a big house like that, enjoy, you know, just sharing a meal is important, bro.
Yeah.
You know, with somebody and smiling at somebody. So, you know, I got my fill these 3 days with all my really, really close friends.
That's it.
Dude, I feel energized, bro. I feel like my batteries, you know, it's part of immune health, bro.
Yeah. Yeah,
oxytocin.
vibing with your people and getting these ideas and getting these, I don't know, reflections that you got, throwing them at the people, and then getting their stuff thrown back at you and just thinking and recollecting on that. I got you. Hell yeah,
Yeah,
especially out there, fucking whiskey nights. Don't get it
oh, bro.
misunderstood when you go out there.
Yeah, it was fun, man. We got it in, man. It was fun.
Badass,
You could definitely feel the
badass.
vibes in the music, you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, that one's a good one. I like them. They're all fucking excellent. Let's see.
Thanks, man. Thanks for listening, man. You know, it
Hell
means a
yeah.
lot.
I'm not done.
It's
I
my
didn't finish
art.
all that. I didn't finish all that shit today. We're gonna go
Yeah,
in bed.
yeah, yeah.
There's some good stuff out there. And Freaks and Geeks, y'all need to do it too. Before we really get to talking about it, hit up Mixcloud and go and type in the search bar Debbie Does Disco, and that's gonna take you there. It's gonna be some stupendous, amazing shit, and we're gonna talk about it in momentarily. I got a couple more questions for you on the life catch up. Let's do three more. Do you have any recent purchases that you made that you're excited about, tools or anything like that, or just something dope that you were trying to save up for? My wife's been putting together fucking gaming computer console and stuff like that. So, but what about yourself?
So I have to admit, you know, that I quote unquote bought it for my son for his Christmas gift, but I got him a Wii.
Okay.
But I kind of got it for me too.
Oh.
And
what was your favorite game?
Had the last gaming console that I had, bro, and I swear is the 64.
All right.
I've never in my life owned a PlayStation or Xbox or since the 64. I haven't had anything, and I got this. And I remember the 64 and thinking I was a badass because I was a badass at Mario Kart.
Yeah.
So I got this, and you know, he's been with his mom and picking back up tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I've been trying to play it, and I'm like, all right, let me pick up these sticks and show these dudes. It's like, oh, you could play Mario Kart online?
Yeah.
Bet. Bro, I'm like getting like 7th place, 6th place. You know, I thought I was so badass, bro.
On the 100cc or what?
Yeah, bro. I'm getting like beaten. I'm thinking about it, and it's probably like kids like my son's age, 4 years old, and like whooping my ass, bro.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. They're out there, man. You got to
fun.
put them on that fucking Punch Out. They got a Punch Out for that one. Mike Tyson's not there, but the Little Mac is there. So
okay, yeah. I saw that. Yeah, like part of the Nintendo Live thing. It comes with all those old games.
Well, no, they remade Punch Out, so maybe something for him. While we were on that fucking old school Mike Tyson Punch Out, they remade it. It's got a lot of the similar characters. It's on the Wii, and of course, Kid Dynamite's not there, but I think who is that other dude? Super Macho Man or something like that, or I forget.
Wow.
Not Randy Savage, but I forget what the other guy they used after when it wasn't Mike Tyson's Punch Out, it was Super Punch Out, and I forget Super Nintendo Man or some shit like that. I forget. But yeah, that's dope, man. That's it.
So yeah, man, the Wii, it's gonna be fun, you know, just because I'll be able to kind of engage. So the reason is because I see so many kids, and I'm not saying that it's wrong, you know, everybody do your thing, but I feel like I don't want my son to be like that. Where you see kids and they're just like stuck
in a fucking tablet, man.
On a tablet or a cell phone, and they're just like,
I'm not down with it.
Turning into mush, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, fuck, dude, I can't avoid that because he sees his cousins, he sees other kids. So how do I put something in front of him where I could still engage with him?
Yeah.
So this is my way of doing that.
Yeah.
You know, because I'll be able to. I'm gonna get games that I'm gonna try to play with him. You know, he's into Minecraft, 4 years old, bro. Into Minecraft, and I've tried to get in there. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. In Minecraft, but I'm gonna have to learn. I'm gonna have to learn. You know, so that's my way of trying to engage with him, and we'll see. I know eventually I'm gonna have to give him a tablet. When that happens, it'll happen. But you know, until then, we'll throw down on some Wii games.
Oh yeah. All right, man. Last question of the catch up. So I started this podcast last September. In last September, the first guest had 9 months to answer this question. You only, on the other hand, what you got, 7 days? I think you got the 7th, right? Or is it 6, 7? Yeah. So
today's the 7th.
In the past week, have you developed or picked up any new routines, new habits, new outlooks, new approaches on life? What you got there?
Um, the most, I mean, there's so much that has changed, throughout this year. The most significant one is after Thanksgiving, I decided to fast from eating meat
Oh yeah.
and basically being vegetarian, whatever
Yeah.
you want to call it. I still eat cheese and
Cheese
I
is
do eat
great.
some eggs every once in a
Yeah.
while. But it was kind of in a way as like I was thinking, okay, after Thanksgiving, I'll go and I won't eat any meat until the end of the year, January. And in a way, it's kind of, to honor and to mourn people that we've lost because we have lost a lot of people this
Lot.
year,
Yeah.
and the vibes are weird.
Yeah.
So this is my way of kind of honoring that and like saying, okay, I'm recognizing you, I'm honoring you, but at the end of the year, it's over and we're moving on.
Yeah.
As we have to humanity
Yeah.
and stuff. So I have, but I'm liking it, man. I'm liking it. I feel a lot better, health wise. Just eating vegetarian, and so I've kept it going.
Yeah.
And I thought I was gonna. I thought at whiskey nights, at this cabin, a homie brought a big old smoked brisket, and your boy loves brisket.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that'll be cause that'll be. I'll probably start eating meat again, and I didn't even crave it, bro.
Yeah.
So for some reason, the past like month or 2 months, it's been a feeling of light. You gotta, everybody talks about light and like, oh, what do you want to eat for lunch today? Oh, I want to eat something light. And then on the contrast, you have people when something like, like, oh, such and such person passed away. Like, oh man, that's heavy.
Yeah.
That's really heavy. You hear something heavy, or you eat too much and you feel heavy.
Yeah.
Stuff. So it's like I've been through my meditations and stuff, and things, just coincidences and things that I see throughout life. It's been about being as light as you could possibly be, and so that is what I would say. Like these past month is just figuring out what it is that I could do about myself, not physically. I mean, of course, I could lose a lot of weight too, and I'm working on that as well.
Yeah.
But not light in that per se. It's just ways of being light.
Lifestyle approach. Cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So just kind of focusing on that, man, and that's been my daily mantra. That I just kind of like walk, just try to walk through life and make decisions that'll make me feel and be lighter.
Good. Yeah. I like that, man.
Yeah.
I can really vibe with that. Hell yeah. All right, B. Well, appreciate you for catching us up, the Freaks and Geeks. All right. We're going to go get into the next section of this whole little spiel we got going on, this connection we got going on. This is called the come up, man. So you spoke about El Paso a little bit, but tell us you spoke about a parent separation as well. So I can relate on that level. Definitely. What did your parents do when you were growing up?
My mom has had, different jobs. Like she worked for the gas company in El Paso for a while.
Okay.
She was born in Juarez. So she's the first one in our generation to come and get her citizenship and, all that stuff. So she graduated from a high school in El Paso, thank the Lord.
Yeah.
My grandparents, her parents made that sacrifice to like bring it, take the generation to the next level, because they could have easily just said, oh, okay, no, we're just going to stay in Mexico. But they pushed forward to make sure that their kids were in America and stuff. So that's one of the reasons why I felt too. It's like, okay, well, I got to do the same thing from El Paso. I got to move it further.
Move on, get out there.
But yeah. But then she worked for AT&T for a really long time. And when I moved here, she was still in El Paso. I was the only one here, but I got really lucky in 2014. I was able to convince her and my brother to move from El Paso over here to Dallas.
Man, that's it.
So, bro, come up. Like, I was so
Damn.
happy. And to this day, I'm very grateful that they're here now. And
Definitely.
so she's here. She works for the state. She's, finna she's just waiting for retirement.
Cool. Yeah.
And I'm just glad and fortunate that she's here and that she's here.
Yeah.
That we're all here.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man.
Yeah. So,
packed up, you know what I'm saying? Squadroned out there.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. And ironically enough, man, I don't know, just the universe is wild, bro. I told you that my brother moved here too. Well, he had at one point decided last year that he wanted to move back to El Paso. Mm-hmm. So my mom and him were staying in a home, right? So he was like, I'm going to move back to El Paso. You're going to need to find a place because mom wants to stay here in Dallas. So we were trying to find a house. And then we ended up getting this huge house in Cedar Hill that was big enough for me and my mom, but so that my brother could move in too, so that he could flip his house. So, he's like, let me move in there. Let me flip the house, sell it, move to El Paso. We're like, bet, I'm going to help him out. So we did that, bro. We're moving into the house. 3 days later, they locked down all of Dallas.
Oh, fuck.
Stay in place. So, dude, we're in a house with my brother, his family, my mom, me, and my son.
That's old school familia right there. That's a body all in one spot, man.
Yeah.
Yes,
it worked out perfect, man, because, I didn't have to. Otherwise I would have been worried about, going, I want to visit my mom.
Yeah.
But, I can't, stuff like that. So it worked out great, bro. And then eventually, luckily, my brother decided to stay here. He's not moving to El Paso. He bought a new house.
Cool.
All of that. How did I even get into that story? Sorry.
No, you're good. I brought up and I asked you about your mother and your father growing up because we're on the come up.
Yeah.
And part of the fucking come up is the house, yo. God damn.
Yeah, nice. Bro. It was cool. And it's got a swimming pool. So as far as my brother's kids and my son are concerned, bro, this was the best summer ever.
It's locked down.
Like
on lockdown. Summer on lockdown.
They were chilling in the pool. Yeah, it was, and toys everywhere, and so we've just been able to make the best of it, and it's really, really worked out, man. It worked out really nicely.
That's gravy, man. That's gravy. What about Pops? You were going to talk about Pops. What's up with that?
Pops is in Juarez. To be honest, I really don't talk to him. It's been probably over, man. Honestly, as soon as I turned 18, it was like,
I got you.
That's old school, bro. That's the old school way people,
The man, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I got you.
So,
I got you.
But, I have a brother from his side, that, I've talked to every once in a while, and my cousins, I keep in touch with them. But, for the most part, it's my family that I have here, which is my mom and my brother between us, and we have our kids, and we're just kind of, focusing on the future, and part of being light also, like I tell you, it's just affected, just thinking that so much, being light and not carrying any heaviness that I haven't resolved. So then my son inherits it, generational stuff. So just really focusing on the future and the kids, man. It's
good headspace, good future. Bro. Hell yeah. I gotcha. Yeah. Definitely. I want to ask you about your first car, or not necessarily the first one, but tell me some car stories. One car that sits with you and like, man, that was my shit right there. That was the wagon. What's up? Tell me a nice little car story. What model, what year, what color, and what went down in that bad boy?
2005. It was so it was a Saab. Saab 92X, but really all it was a Subaru WRX STI with a Saab badge on it.
I gotcha.
Because in that year, who owns Saab? Whoever owns Subaru bought Saab. Yeah, they wanted to get into that market of wagons. Yeah, and so they just bought. And then, so it was a Subaru WRX STI, but a wagon. Yes. And it just had Saab, badges on it.
Yeah.
Super cool, man. I took it over to Mexico. We drove all the way to Puerto Peñasco once. So, you from El Paso, you drive to Phoenix, and then you go south, and then you're down over there by, Baja of Mexico.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Those beaches, for some reason, they don't give a fuck, bro. And I paid them $20, and they let me take it onto the beach.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is it called? Drifting it on the sand, making it waves of sand and stuff. That was cool. It was a really cool car.
Damn, that's
it. To this day, I regret selling it, man, because my dream car was always an STI.
All right.
WRX. And so yeah, man.
Cool.
And other than that, you can never go wrong with the F-150, bro.
Yeah, you can't. You cannot, man. That's one of my dream cars, man. I want a 95 or 94. I like those models, the 95s to 94, a single cab, or I'll probably get the extended. But they had this like colorway. It wasn't brown, it wasn't tan, but it was right in the middle of that shit, and it just looks. Oh, that's what I love, that square body on that model there. So yeah, no, you're right. You can't go wrong with the F-150.
My brother's got an F2. No, it's either an F-250. Yeah, F-250 with the long bed.
Yeah.
With the extended cab on it, and it's in one of those years too, in the 90s.
The 2 gas tanks and shit like that.
Yeah. Those are such nice trucks, man.
They are, man. I love those.
Like, how many miles do you think one of those trucks could go? Like 500,000?
That's a good number. As long as you take care of it, that's a good number. Yeah. I think so that's too, definitely a nice ballpark number. So we talked about the car. You are you get down with some heavy fashion. Tell me some sneaker stories, but tell me about that first shoe. I don't know about you, but a lot of I don't know. I myself, mom and pops back then was like, yeah, you're not getting no hot drop, bud. We got to go over to the clearance rack, and you're gonna get clearance rack shit for shoe wise. So like the kick game was, let's see, there was a glass ceiling, or no. There was a ceiling on the kick game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want those. Nah, man, you were getting anything off that rack right there. So like, any shoe that I found on that, I was like, yeah, okay, let's, I think I can get down with this. But tell me about that breakout shoe that you were able to buy for yourself. That was like, oh shit, we are starting something here, right here.
Yeah. Same situation as you, man. When I was younger, I could never, my mom was a single mom, so she couldn't buy me no Jordans. And honestly, I was never, I don't know, man. I've always just been, everybody liked Jordan. I didn't like Jordan. My dude was Shaq.
Okay.
Or, even before Shaq, it was like, okay, well, you like Jordan, I like Pippen.
Yeah.
So everybody had the Jordans and I had the Pippens.
Yeah, those are dope.
And
those Pippens. Oh.
Those Pippens were dope, bro. But there was this Foot Locker outlet that was over there in El Paso. And I remember one time, I'd beg my mom, take me there. And I found some of the Shaqs, the black with turquoise pumps.
Okay. Oh, yeah. The pumps. The pumps. I got you. Hell yeah.
Pumps, bro. And I saw those and I was like, oh, dang. Like, I needed them. That was my dude.
Yeah.
I'm in like 5th grade and I'm looking at him. They were like beyond big. Like, there was no way that they were even close to fitting me. Yeah. But I was that dude, bro. I bought them.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta have them.
Check me.
And I remember like wearing them and I was like, it's all right. I'll figure it out. And I wore them and little by little, I remember like realizing, I was like, yeah, triple socks, and I had socks inside of it and everything. And
that was stuff to toe.
I remember that point where I was like, dude, I can't do this.
I can't do this.
Man. So then I just didn't wear them. And then I had them in my room on a shelf. I would just kind of like look at them every once in a while and stuff. And I was like, one day I'll be able to wear them. Like my feet will get big enough to wear them. And no, I never got to wear them, bro. That's a whole other story. I got back once from my mom's and like I see she had a whole garage sale situation going on.
Oh snap! And they're there. They're in the mix.
No, they were gone.
Oh,
they were gone already.
Whoa, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Crushing.
Yeah.
So
damn.
You wanted a shoe story. That was a shoe story.
That's it. Hell yeah, man. Appreciate it. That's a good one.
But
Damn, nice.
But yeah, man. I mean, I've always been more of a classic shoe guy. So like just like that Reebok Classic, the black suede with the white on the side. Like I like those, and what I would do, since I couldn't afford shoes, I'd buy those, but I'd mess around with the laces. I'd get like some red laces or some black laces.
Yeah.
Kind of do the crisscross stuff. Yeah. Match them with the outfit.
Oh yeah. Lace game was hot back then. The fat laces too. If you rock that shit, that was it. Thinking about this, I was watching Friday. Probably like last week for some reason, it just popped on, and I was checking out the shoe game. Craig is in some fucking all black Air Force One lows with some with a white swoosh and like I think the white heel, and I was like, whoa, that's fucking action right there. I dig that. Very simple, but like, damn, I guess that's the first time I probably realized it in the past, but I never appreciated it. And just fucking simple white on black Air Force One low. I dig that because I've had Air Force Ones. I've had black highs. I've had black lows. I've had white highs. I've had white lows. But I never considered a low black on with white swoosh on it. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I've seen. I think John Elliott released some like that, and they were like this really, really butter like black leather.
Yeah.
And so it's like, the whole body, the whole upper is all this like, and then it had a white swoosh with the white sole on some lows, some Air Force One lows.
Did you see
man, you wear those right?
Yeah. No, yeah, you definitely. You wear those right, they're going to fucking pop off hard, very hard. Did you see those fucking Asics that they dropped pictures of with that big ass like A6 6 on the front of it? It's like an A6 like mid. No. I don't want to call it a high. It's like an A6 mid, and then for some reason I don't know that A6 curly Q. They stuck it on the fucking front of the tongue, and it's not like a soccer tongue or anything like that, but it looks pretty dope. I'm highly interested in it. I'll send you
send me a link, because I'm a big A6 fan.
Yeah.
I'm a big A6 fan.
Yeah,
and I mean, if you had to choose between the Air Max 90 or the Asics Gelite 3, what would be your choice?
Oh, I'm going Gelite 3 all day. I'm not a big Air Max guy, in all honesty. Bro. I'm a gel guy. Those yeah.
Me too, man. I've always been like you saw the selections of the Gelites that I had at the store.
Amazing, some amazing stuff.
Big appreciator that, which Tinker Hatfield had a lot to do with that design too.
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
The Gelite 3.
Did not know that that he dabbled over there. That's dope.
Yeah. That's where he got his that's where he learned how to do all that stuff at Asics, and then he came over here and created Nike, man.
Yeah. Freaks and Geeks, that's a first. That's dropping fucking mad knowledge right there. I couldn't have told you that. My goodness, I could not have told you that. Hell yeah, Brandon, that's some good shit right there. Dropping sneaker foot game knowledge. All right, so we talked about the come up from El Paso to now. You got the fucking lavish little house over there. You got everybody coming through. You got the pool. We talked the car, the fucking 05 Saab 92X. We talked about the sneakers, the fucking shacks that popped up in the fucking garage sale. You just roll up on them and they're gone. Man, gone. Vanished without a trace. Excellent. So
whoever bought them, I hope they wore them. I hope they wore them good, bro.
Much respect. Just looking out for them. Hopefully they wherever at. If you're out there, this one's for you. Now the gear. Let's go into the gear. Let's move away from the come up. We're here. We're in the present. Part of that come up also included you. You talked about your sneaker gallery. Okay. Epocha. That's the first spot. That's really the first establishment that I walked into in Deep Ellum. So that is Deep Ellum to me, in all honesty. But I got to tell you, and I love fucking. As soon as I don't think I would have gone had it not been for a buddy of ours. Shout out. He loves when he gets shout outs. Shout out to the shoe janitor. If that buddy,
what up?
If that buddy would, and he loves shout outs, buddy. He fucking loves them. If that buddy wouldn't have taken me in that day and let me check out what's going down, then I wouldn't have gone for some reason.
Yeah.
Not necessarily to Epocha itself, but I think Deep Ellum. He put me on to Deep Ellum, and then by that got me in there. But how did that come about, man? Like, you don't just open up a shoe gallery, you know. Where's the foundation of that vision, of that dream?
Man, it really was spontaneous, honestly. I was married before that, and at that point I was on that mental of like, okay, well, I'm saving up money because we're married now, and thinking of I'm gonna live this, thinking I had it all figured out, bro. Like I knew what I was gonna do, and I knew where I was gonna be like in 5 years, and blah blah blah. And like, what's that saying that you want to make God laugh, telling him your plans? So it was kind of that kind of situation, bro. Because I was here thinking, and then she, I wish her well and everything. She, I guess at some point decided she didn't want to have kids, or I don't know what it was. She didn't want to be married.
Yeah.
So it was like super random, just out of the blue. It just, one day we were together and we were happy, and then it was crazy. So it kind of sent me like on a whirlwind, and like, it's like I just felt like I woke up one day in an apartment by myself.
Yeah.
And like thinking like I just woke, that's how quick it was, bro.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? What happened? So then I started thinking, okay, well, what's my next move? And I said, you know what? Fuck it, man. I'm just going to move to LA.
Oh shit.
So I did. I packed up all my vinyl.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I packed up all my vinyl, which is, at that point I had like 6,000 records.
Okay. Yeah.
1,000, maybe 7,000.
So it was
the big task, right? So then my theory was, okay, so what I'll do to like, close off all odds and ends here in Dallas, I'll pack up my vinyl and I'll take it to El Paso where it'll already be halfway.
Yeah.
So then when I'm moving to LA, it's just I pick it up and boom, we keep going.
Right there.
So I had already done that. And I had my vinyl packed up in a U-Haul, and I was driving to El Paso, and what year was it? Where it was like a big blizzard. I want to say either 2012 or 2013, huge blizzard. So long story short, I'm driving to El Paso, which normally takes like 8 hours. It took me 16 hours to get there, bro.
Jeez.
Going like 20 miles per hour, driving an F-150 with a U-Haul full of vinyl, and skidding on the ice like every 200 feet, it seemed like, by myself. I had 3 jackets on. I had my hoodie on, beanie, gloves, because I was already for sure that I was going to crash.
Yeah.
Because I saw like 3 semis on fire, like on the way, because it was a nasty ice. It was iced up. I had just gone through a divorce. I had no money to get a hotel room. I had nothing, bro, And so that 16-hour drive was,
Yeah.
Started thinking a lot. And, like I told you, I thought I could, I was ready to crash, and who knows what could have happened. And during that whole time, I started kind of reflecting, and I'm like, well, what am I doing in LA? So like, I'm basically going to throw away all these years of networking that I've done and relationships that I've built in Dallas with people and with the city and with the scene and the culture, to go to LA and start from scratch, and then, so why am I doing that? And then you start thinking, well, am I running away from my problems? So then I was like, I don't want to be this guy to be known as running away from my problems.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well then what am I running to if I value these relationships and my friends and everything that I've built in Dallas? What am I running to in LA, which was music, culture, art, shoes. Shopping on Melrose was sick as fuck back then in LA. Different sporty LA stores, Undefeated, all that. I was like, that's what I'm running to. And I was like, okay, well then why, instead of running to there, stay with all the relationships and bonds that you've made in Dallas, and you bring that to Dallas.
Okay. That's big. That's big knowledge right there, man. That's big thought.
Yeah.
Well, you had time. You had 69.
That's where I decided, bro, on the way to El Paso, which I was already halfway moving to LA. Mm-hmm. I said, you know what? I'm gonna stay in Dallas. I'm gonna make my own store.
Yeah.
And it turned into Epocha, man, and it was a beautiful thing, and every beautiful thing has its end, and I'm sad that it ended. I'm kind of happy it's ended also, because it did kind of, I don't know, it had its space, and it was such a good time, and I was able to create a space for a lot of people to share their
immaculate
art.
Fucking space. Yeah. I didn't go to the second one. I think, man, I was trying to go to the second one. I didn't make it. So the first one, you had two spots, right?
Yeah, I had 2 spots in Deep Ellum. Yeah.
So the first one was hot fucking action, guy. I can't speak on the second one because unfortunately I never made it over there. But that one, my goodness, lot of good fucking times there.
Yeah,
man. I loved those Christmas shindigs.
So for people that didn't, great. Yeah, so the front space was 600 square feet, and I just had blank wall. Yeah, and I would do art shows there. So I got to meet a lot of amazing artists from Dallas, which are now, Junebug. I was lucky enough to have his first art show ever, and he's designed his own Nike. He designed the Huarache.
Okay.
And I had an art show with him, Jeremy Biggers, so many, Riley Holloway, which is an amazing oil painting guy. Just so many people, and not only just artists, but musicians and just movers and shakers that are just there and dedicating their lives to the culture and to love and stuff.
Which one was the cat that you had that had a fucking like foreign movie posters with cartoons on it? It would be a foreign. Who was that? Do you remember that one? Didn't you have some joint? Who was that?
His name's Max. His Instagram, I think, is Snipe Art, SNIPEART. And so this dude, he spent the majority of his life growing up, him and his dad, their passion was collecting these movie posters. Mm-hmm. And it's like the original ones from when like the movies were released, and then they would put them up at
the fucking big theater ones.
Yeah. And then he would go so as deep as getting like, okay, well, he'd have the Scarface release from Spain or from Mexico City. So the words are in Spanish, and like those are even harder to come by and stuff like that. So then he would do that, which the poster in itself already is valuable and expensive. Yeah. And that's why he's saying he'd snipe the art, because then on top of that, he'd paint.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was cool, man. He'd just the visions that he would have, and he would incorporate like an animated character on top of the character on the movie poster.
I remember Hong Kong Phooey on one. Do you remember what poster that was? Was that Godfather or what?
I know. I think it was Bruce Lee.
It was? Yeah. I think, was that fucking Enter the Dragon with Hong Kong Phooey on it?
I think so.
Whoa.
If you go to his his Instagram, don't quote me, but I think so.
I think that is what it is. Damn. Yeah, that was a hot action one, man.
Those were cool, bro. Very, very cool. I got lucky with some. He gave me some from Goodfellas, which was the release from, I think, like Portugal.
Yeah.
And it was and then he, instead of painting a character on it, he just painted letters, and it was the "fuck you, pay me."
Oh, okay.
On them. And
nice.
Man, such good times and all those art shows. And like you said, the Christmas stuff, that became one of my most favorite things, bro. That's when you and me would get to really kind of hang out.
Hell yeah, man. I remember walking one winter, I forget when it was, and I think it was my bachelor party was it was some winter time. And me and the shoe janitor are walking by, and we're walking down the spot, and it's not like, it's just depressed, yo. It's like fucking Charlie Brown walking down the street. It's just
Yeah.
smooth, just tranquil, like lo-fi jazz playing, and it's like, it's gone, bud. Let's keep it moving. Like, I think Buddy walked in, and I was like,
Yeah.
man, I'm gonna stay out here. We'll see you when
Yeah.
you come back. We'll see you when you get out here. Man, yeah.
That's good
I love
times,
that,
man.
man.
That's good
Yeah.
times.
Excuse me. Those Christmas fucking spectaculars at Epocha were fucking bananas. I had one
Coach
dream.
Cans and Kicks.
Yeah.
Coach Cans and Kicks is what we used to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would open up the fucking backyard, and there was shit going down out there.
Yeah.
You would have people vibing and a shitload of stuff. Some out of sight. I remember there was a music artist one time came and was fucking dropping bars in there. I think that was fucking. I think I remember that.
Yeah, Tony Williams.
Yeah.
From Kanye. He
Nice.
does all the background vocals for Kanye. He performed in there.
Fuck.
And Rache, the band, which is a bunch of like, now these kids are all traveling, were before all this pandemic shit, with like classically trained musicians. And like, if y'all ever get on YouTube, look up this guy, Mike Mitchell, the drummer on YouTube. Okay. Young kid from Dallas, and this dude is an animal. Like, the kit is literally like surrounding him. He probably has like 50 drums.
Oh.
And he's just like animal from
for the Muppets.
Baby, bro.
Yeah.
But dude, classic jazz trained. Like he's touring with like big jazz artists.
Yeah. And
he was in Epocha one time just with like a little 3-piece kit, just getting down,
That's sick action.
It was fun, man. It was fun. But it was just I guess my way of trying to turn a negative situation into a positive situation, with a lot of times, people could let something negative like a divorce just totally derail you. And but like a cat, you throw a cat and it always lands on its feet. I wanted to make sure I landed on my feet and challenge myself at the same time. So really with Epocha, it was me putting myself out there and saying to myself, like, look, motherfucker, you have no other choice but
get out
to
there.
Win.
Yeah.
Get out there and do
get
something.
The fuck out there.
So it put me in a situation where I had to create, and I was creating, and I was helping create.
Some beautiful stuff, but
yeah.
I'm gonna post a picture of that fucking Epocha storefront for this episode. The beautiful stuff. I got two more things with this whole the gear, the spot. What is the definition of Epocha to you? Because I'll tell you, I just kind of was like had a little moment while you were talking about this time, and then I look down and I look at the definition of what I wrote down for Epocha. Epocha, the definition as far as fucking the 3 W's is concerned, a period of time marked by distinctive features or events, peace and goodwill. That's the definition of it, man. And you just fucking described the definition of everything that went down. Whenever you were throwing anything down there, anytime I went there, like I wrote this today and I was like, okay, yeah, period of time marked by distinctive features. Okay, that's what Epocha means. Like, what?
Yeah.
I was there at periods of time marked with distinctive features and events, peace and goodwill. So is that why? I mean, why did you name it that?
That's why. Because that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was. And not only just for the situation that I was in because of the life change that I was going through, but just everything as a whole. We've been feeling the world and the earth and everything is kind of changing. Everybody feels it. And it's been kind of like a slow progression until it's gotten to the point that we're at now, where it's like accelerating and it's getting to a point where it's like, fuck, like, it's completely changed. The world's different, bro.
Yeah.
And I've felt the change since then. I felt it since then. I knew things were changing. not only for me, but just everything. And so that's, the mark of a new epoch in time,
Yeah.
which is, a time that's chosen as the beginning of a whole new era.
It was hot.
And that's
Fucking
what
hot.
Epocha was. For me, it was that's what it was for Deep Ellum. That's what it was for Dallas, for the whole entire world.
Man, it was a beautiful thing. Does it still have a heartbeat at all? Is there anything there?
You never know. Like this Debbie Does Disco thing that I'm doing again, that had ended and it got resurrected again. But it's just, I don't know. If it does, it might come back as like maybe an art gallery. I don't know about a store again. Retail,
Tough.
Man.
Who you got to compete with?
Retail is.
Fuck. You had some hot accounts,
retail.
yo.
Yeah,
I did.
I had Vans Off the Wall.
Yeah.
I had Van Skate.
Yeah.
No other stores to this day in Dallas have those, except for the Van store. But even then, I had shoes that the Van store wasn't getting. My Vans rep is the Vans rep for Undefeated and Supreme and Bodega, and it was just because I randomly one time at a trade. What's the trade show in Vegas called again? I even forgot what it's called now.
We're not talking about Antique Roadshow, are we? No. No.
Oh, man, at this point. But yeah, it was a big trade show in LA where all these brands, streetwear stuff come together, and I just saw that he was wearing some badass some Vaults, and I hit him up and I was like, bro, those are badass shoes, and he's like, oh yeah, thanks, and I told him, and he was surprised that I knew what it was.
Yeah.
Start shooting the shit, whatever, and it's like, okay, cool. And then I go, and he ends up being the Vans rep.
Jeez.
And then I'm like, well, bro, I want Vans. He's like, well, you're a new account. You need to speak to the new account guys over here and stuff. And I was like, nah, bro, I want an account with you. Because I know you told me that you're the Vault guy. I want Vault. I don't want those shoes over there.
Yeah, I don't want
Vault.
that stuff. I want what you got, G.
Yeah. And he I guess just coincidences, bro, and he turned out saying, I'll tell you what, okay, I'm gonna start your account. He started my account. He came to visit the store a couple of times, and he was getting me, he was hooking me up with shoes, man, like some Vans in there that only those top stores were getting. It was cool.
Yeah.
I never got Nike in there, but Nike's like a whole other cult.
Oh yeah.
You
had some ASICs in there, right? Some signature. You had a couple of releases of some shit. Some very small batch stuff going in there, man.
Yeah.
Did I see New Balance?
I had New Balance in there too. I had some good releases from those, the Made in America stuff.
Yeah. Some fire throwback jerseys. And jackets.
Puma. I had Puma.
Yes.
And some good exclusives on there too. Had a lot of colorways on the Puma suedes that were very limited as well. I mean, it was fun, man. But man, that world is, it's too fast. It's too fast.
It's a monster. For one fucking solid soul that's just trying to fucking go at fucking Rocky in that bitch, and boom, boom, boom. It's like, yo, fucking the Russian's gonna come out and just fucking swallow you quickly. It's tough, man. Odds are against you, but it was a hell of a run, but it was a beautiful fucking, like we said, period in time. Amazing fucking thing. I will tell you one last thing about that before we get into the heavy, because this next part's gonna be fucking heavy. What is that? 80? What is it? 70 gram, 80 gram, or whatever they weigh the records at. The last thing for this thing. I had a dream, man, and it's not a dream. It's like I was asleep. My dream was I wanted to, and excuse me if I speak out of term, I wanted to take a shower. And when I figured there was a shower in Epocha, I was like, man, that last time I went there, I was like, I'm gonna go to this bathroom real quick. Anybody in here? And I was like, I'm gonna take a shower. And I was like, oh, nah. I just wanted to take a shower in that bitch and come out and just be like, what's going on? Let's keep the party going on. But like,
hey, you should have, man. You should have told me, man. You wouldn't have been the only one. There was a lot of people that would do that. Like, it's like, hey, I want to hit up the event or something, but I'm just gonna be pulling up out of work. It's like, okay, well, come get ready here, bro. And
I just wanted to do it.
It was a nice shower too, bro. Cobblestone
that
floor.
whole fucking bathroom, was fucking out of sight, man.
Yeah.
Very vibey, very vibey. It felt like a candle in that motherfucker right there.
Yeah, yeah, bro. It was fun. It was fun, you know, for 4 years, bro, of waking up in my store. It was like so surreal, man, really, because I'm telling you, like, just the way life tossed and turned me, and I ended up there.
Yeah,
you know, waking up in Deep Ellum in my shoe boutique / art gallery.
Yeah,
when at the cusp of when Deep Ellum is coming up in its you know, resurgence that it goes through, I think like every 10 years, and being a part of it was very amazing, man. I ain't gonna lie, there was some times where I just on my knees, man.
Yeah.
And I just be like, you know, God, thank you. Like, you know, I'm so grateful. And you know, if I gave it my all, and you know, it's a tough thing, but either way, I consider it 100% a success.
Oh yeah, it was a fucking success. Hell yeah.
It did what it needed to.
Was there a basement
other than let you take a shower in it? So
it's a dream, bud. It's a dream. Even a buddy, shoe janitor walked in, I was like, man, I could walk in there right now and take a shower and just roll the fuck out. But no, that's I'll always take that one. Every Christmas, I'm like, man, I wish I could be taking a shower in fucking Epocha right now. That'd be fucking ice. But did it have a basement?
That's a crazy conversation, man, because so one time that I had an event, some weird old couple, dude, and you know, Deep Ellum is just a bunch of strange people.
Yeah.
So it was like they were, I would say, 60s, 65, old couple, but like the dude was like dressed in like a tuxedo.
Yeah.
Like they were partying. They were going somewhere. And they were, I guess somebody told them about the art show. So they showed up to the art show and they walked in, and the lady's like, her eyes are huge and she's looking around and she's like, oh my God. And then they told me the whole situation. They said there was an elevator right by where the kitchen was.
Yeah. That
was big enough to hold cars, and that it would go downstairs, and that there was a basement. And I was like, no, but I've asked the owner of the building, and he's told me that there's no basement. And she's like, nope. There's a basement. There is a basement down there. It's huge. They used to have a bunch of pool tables down there. She told me everything about the space.
Yo.
And then there was there was another space that was very popular for art back in the days. I'm talking about like 60s, 70s. Okay. That was like 3 doors down. And I told her, I think you have it confused with, I forget the name of it. Yeah. And it's over there. And she's like, no, because that place had such and such written in tile. And she's like, come here. And she walked me. And sure enough, the tile was whatever it said over there. She's like, no, I know exactly what your space is. And it's got a basement. No. So I never got to, you know, there was situations where we'd be kind of drunk and stuff and think, okay, let's kind of cut the hole here on the wood. But
oh man,
I didn't want to mess with the wood floor, because you remember the wood floor was like that repurposed basketball floor from an old high school.
Yeah, no. Oh man, that detail too, the fucking brick wall.
So who knows, man? I believe her, bro. I think there is a basement there. A chance to see it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It'd be
that's
badass.
Bonkers. With the old elevator, man. What about you ever go up at the roof? Yeah. What was above you? Was there anything above you?
So above me was a photo studio.
Okay.
My buddy Jason, love pick love on Instagram. Really good photography. He actually, his specialty is what's called boudoir photography.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with boudoir photography. So like girls will take pictures and like they'll take like provocative pictures. Sometimes they're naked even, and they give them to like their sugar daddies or their husbands as like a gift for their 50th anniversary. So boudoir photography, that's his specialty. So it's funny because remember you're saying how we'd be outside in the backyard and just kind of kicking it. Sometimes we'd be blazing it back there. And then I just look up and I look in the window and there'd be like some nakedness going on.
Really? Was that residential behind you?
Huh?
Was that residential behind you?
No, behind me was a Gypsy tea room.
Okay.
Yeah. But he'd want to capture that natural light from the windows sometimes. So he'd have him like standing by the window, and I'm just sitting there. And I look up like, oh.
It was a live little yard back there in the back, man. I dug that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
fire
fun, man.
sometimes,
Had a little fire pit,
ice chest keg with the little the Dallas blonde. Shout out to fucking Deep Ellum with that blonde. We love it. We love it. All right, bud. Great chat with the that vision, the gear. All right, so I appreciate that. All you freaks and geeks out there, you missed an amazing period of time marked by distinctive features and events that were full of peace and goodwill. You did miss it, but on cold December nights, if you're ever walking on, what was that, Elm? No, it wasn't. Yeah. If you're ever walking on Elm Street, you can almost hear these faint little conversations in soft jazz beats when you pass by the old Epocha. So maybe check it out one day, bud. Y'all out there. I want to talk to you next about Debbie Does Disco, bud. Mm-hmm. This is the heavy. All right. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that I like I mentioned to you. It started like last night. Really, I was getting ready to go to bed, and I was like, man, I want to listen to Buddy's tracks. I want to listen to all his recorded sets. So I went to the fucking IG, and I was just scrolling, hitting stuff, getting and hitting some good stuff. It was getting that wiggle vibe going down. Good. Introduce the Freaks and Geeks to Debbie Does Disco. For the people that don't know, for the Freaks and Geeks out there that aren't aware of what that is, for the people the Freaks and Geeks that have been under a rock for the past 20 years, let us know what's going down with Debbie Does Disco. Introduce it to us, and then tell us some stories about it.
Yeah, so Debbie Does Disco is a concept that I developed actually back in 2010. Mm-hmm. And I was doing shows here in Dallas under the Debbie Does Disco moniker. And really what it was I wanted it to be something kind of mysterious. I wanted people to wonder. I didn't want people to know it was me doing the events.
Okay.
It kind of goes back to where I was telling you where Epocha kind of forced me to put myself out there.
Yeah.
Because before that, I'd never, I've been
private guy
doing events and cult stuff and been involved in cultural events and stuff for over 20 years. But I've always not wanted my face to be, I don't want to be a poster boy.
Yeah.
So Debbie Does Disco was a way to do that. And without it being something that it was me. So it became kind of a cool thing because people would come to the parties and they'd be like, yo, who's Debbie? Who's Debbie? And I'd be like,
she's in the bag.
I don't know, man. I haven't seen her. She's probably somewhere. Dude, I want to meet her, man. You know, who is she?
Not here,
like, where'd she come from? And it turned into a whole story that I don't even know where it all came from, but it turned out that people were that she was from Hollywood in LA, and she was doing parties in LA, and that she was wanting to move to Dallas, and that she has family in Highland Park, and when she would come visit over here, she'd come and she'd throw parties, and it
like
just
turned into it sounds like fucking Gatsby, but
yeah, bro. And I was like, yeah, okay, that's what it is, sick. And people would come and like, well, who's Debbie? Who's Debbie? Blah, blah, blah. And, but I kind of back then, I guess, what is it? I had too high hopes for it because I right away immediately. So one of the first people that I brought was J-Rock from Matt Stone's Throw Records. I don't know if you know J-Rock. He's one of the Invisible Scratch Pickles. So anyways, amazing turntablist from LA, amazing turntablist, but he's known for doing amazing disco sets in Japan. And I've always wanted to see it. But I've never been able to afford to go to Japan. So I booked him to come play flew him from LA to come play. And I told him, but I want you to play disco. And he was like super stoked. He's like, bro, nobody ever asked me to play disco when I'm in the States. So he was super excited about it. And he came, but it's like not many people know who J-Rock is. It's a really geeky, you have to be really, really nerdy into music, I guess, to know who J-Rock is.
Yeah.
Look him up.
Will do.
You guys would love him. J-Rock, JROCC.
Cool.
So anyways, I lost my ass.
He's spelling for you, bud. He's fucking spelling fucking. Yeah. Appreciate it, B. All right, so you lost your.
Yeah. He even did a mixtape for Supreme back in like the 90s. He's a really good DJ. But so I lost my ass on the first couple of parties, and you know what? Now that I think about it, that may have had to do with my divorce. Okay. But but I was looking at it as an investment, but then all of that happened, and it kind of, like I said earlier, it kind of spiraled me throughout life, and then it just, not intentionally, but it just kind of got put in the back burner. After Epocha, and I don't know if you remember, I had some of my vinyl collection at Epocha too.
I think so.
I had about maybe 2,000 pieces of vinyl there. And
I think so.
I had my turntables there. I had 2 shelves, those big IKEA shelves. So 25 crates of records that I had there.
Cool.
I would play them every once in a while. So when Epocha closed, I'd go to just kind of hang out with friends, and then I started meeting people, and then I met a group of people who are now very dear friends of mine. And like I said, I went to Oklahoma earlier this weekend, and that was with them. But that's how I met them. And just through meeting them, they told me that one day they were like, "Oh, we love house music, we love techno music," and that kind of, I've been DJing since '96, guys.
96, okay.
And girls.
Freaks and Geeks.
Freaks and Geeks. And so since '96, and it was like I told you, from that time that I was breakdancing, and I just fell into the rave scene, and I was in El Paso.
Yeah.
So raving, moved to Dallas, raving, not really EDM. So, there's EDM and then there's house music. They're 2 completely different things.
I definitely agree.
Whoever tells you the same thing, it's not the same thing. Okay, so this was house music stuff that I'm talking about. And it's honestly been my life since then. That's what inspired me to create Epocha. I'm telling you, like, when I came up with the revelation to create Epocha, I was driving my records to El Paso because I was getting ready to move them to LA.
Yeah.
So they've always been my thing. So when I met some people that were interested into it, I was like, "Oh, you really like techno? You like house music? Really? Do you? Because I know house music and I know techno.
Friends.
I can show you guys some stuff." And then it turned into, okay, well, next time that we're hanging out here, why don't you bring the turntables and we'll see what's up? And I was like, okay,
let's get down.
And that eventually just blew up into what Debbie Does Disco is now. And the last show that we had was in February of last year, for Valentine's. Man, and the party was called Love is the Message.
Oof.
And we found an old like car mechanic body shop on Jefferson Street, which is in Oak Cliff, Dallas, the hood. And we converted that place, man. I mean, we literally had to spend 2 weeks cleaning the inside of trash, of junk body parts and tires and fenders and tools and all. You'd not believe like the type of shit that we found in there, and cleaned it out and created that body shop, created a disco. So that's what Debbie Does Disco. It's not disco per se, saying that I'm playing You Can Ring My Bell and YMCA, because disco is much more than that. Disco is not a music genre. It's
presence,
an environment that you build.
Yes.
You make a disco to play music. So like back in the days when you think disco, they were playing James Brown, they were playing R&B, funk, soul stuff in a disco environment. So that's what I do. I create a disco. I have a 4-foot disco ball that we set up in the middle. We decorate. I have a crew of people that help me out with everything. We do. This is an underground party too, by the way. So, we stay the that Valentine's party, I played till 9 a.m.
Damn.
My last record was at 9 in the morning.
My goodness.
But we have a coat check in the front. The ladies drop off their coats.
Look at the
they're
class
dressed
on
to the
this.
nines. They're coming. They're ready. They're coming to the disco. That's the way people, you know, they put more attention. It wasn't just going out and seeing what we get into. Like, you know, back in the day, you got ready and you prepared yourself for the disco. And that's what people do now, man. And it just, you have to, bro. It's man, it's like, it creates this little bubble of like, it shouldn't exist, bro. It shouldn't exist, but it does. Especially right now in these days, it's the best gig that I've ever played at.
Man,
ever. And it's amazing, man. I get to play records, you know, like on the whiskey nights. I played a Quincy Jones jazz record into a Detroit techno Moody Man record, which I would never be able to do that at a bar or anywhere. Everybody'd like be like, dude, what the fuck? What are you doing? But at Debbie Does Disco, like I get a reaction out of it. People dance, people love it. Like, you know.
Yeah, no, your transitions are fucking smooth, Jack. That like you get on a track, I don't know, a certain, I guess, section of music, a track of music, and it's you're vibing on it for a minute, multiple fucking minutes, and then it'll transition smoothly into the fucking next one. And man, that's fucking tremendous. But so whoa, keep on going.
Totally different, man. It's almost like the best way I could describe it is like the Japanese people, how if they get into a certain thing, like they like ninja focus. You know, like the Japanese have taken denim pants, for example, and now you have Evisu, which is like the best cream of the crop selvage denim that you could possibly think of. They're milling the best stuff. That's the way I look at my passion in house music and dance music. Like, I want to be able to play the best stuff on the best stuff, because that's the message that I'm getting from it, and I want the listeners to also get it out of there as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You picked an amazing fucking piece of equipment to utilize. Tell us about the fucking you used to call it, where is it at, the Disco Bunny sound system. Tell us what that's about. What is the Disco Bunny sound system?
So one of my dear friends, my best friend, really, this guy Mondo, he's originally from El Paso too, and he shares the same love and passion that I have for music. And we're just, like I told you, we just want to honor it and be as in the best way possible. So all of this stuff comes, all the house music, EDM, and all that, believe it or not, comes from the dude used to put together. And I don't know if you've ever seen pictures of it, where it's like these stacks, like walls of sound, like just speakers on speakers on top of speakers on top of speakers, and it's these Jamaican sound systems. No, and that's what they would do.
No, not on that. But keep going,
man. It's a big movement that started hip hop, that started house music, that started disco, that started everything. Started from Jamaican sound systems, and in Jamaican sound systems, they always had the DJ and they always had the selector. They were two different people.
No,
so that's how
know what you're talking
far.
About.
Yeah, you'll hear it like on drum and bass where they're like, bo, 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 my selector. Stuff like that. Well, that's where it comes from. And so me and Mondo take it even at that far. So when you go to see a Debbie Does Disco, I'm DJing the records, but Mondo is selecting the records.
Oh.
And it's just, that's how deep we go, because we feel like by doing that, it separates the ego away from anything having to do with the event.
Yeah, it's like work with this.
Yeah, because
that's dope.
Yeah, like I'm DJing, but I'm technically not DJing because he's picking the records. Yeah, and he's not DJing because he's not DJing, but he's picking the records. So there's no that it goes. So who's Debbie? I'm not Debbie.
Damn.
The girls that decorate for me are not Debbie. Mondo that selects the records are not Debbie. There's no ego
vibe.
tied to the thing at all.
The people
Debbie is Debbie. Debbie is the disco. It's
the people that
little
come.
environment.
I think the people that show up are Debbie. Whoa! I was gonna ask, who is Debbie? That might be the name of the podcast, but who is Debbie?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. So that's how deep we take it, and so even further, we recording of the way the musician, when they master a record, they leave it to sound the same way that it sounded in the studio when it was recorded.
Okay.
So you can't get a better recording other than that. So we get records, and then not only that, it also supports this because like you have to pay for vinyl. And if anybody's ever wondering what's the best way to support a musician, buy their record, because all the money goes to them.
Okay.
But it starts on an analog vinyl record, and it goes through the needle. And then it goes from the needle, which is also, analog. It's a diamond tip that's running through the grooves. And it goes into our mixer, which, is that what you wanted to talk about, my mixer?
Your tables. Are you using Audio-Technica tables, or what's going down?
No, these are Techniques. This is before, Audio-Technica bought Techniques.
Okay.
And now they're doing Audio-Technica, but the original ones are just Techniques. So I got some Technique 1200s.
And you use this. You're the first person that I ever saw use the fucking weight. Or is it a weight? You call it the weight? You're like,
it's a weight.
Yeah. And then so I would share pictures of what you would use with other like vinyl and fucking record heads, and they were like, yeah, that guy's serious, but he's got the fucking weight.
Yeah, because it's going to reduce the amount of vibration that's going to go through the needle by holding the record down, as compared to if you don't hold it down, it can shake.
Look at you.
So, it's like ninja precision, bro. Like it takes and that's what makes it so much more special, because there's so many things that could go wrong.
Yeah.
You could have something that's not grounded. You could have a dirty needle. You could have a dirty record. You could have it mono. There's so many things that could go wrong, but they're not, and they're all going perfectly, and they're in sync, and everything is going the way it needs to go. It's sounding the way it needs to sound. People are feeling the way they need to feel. That is a disco. That is the disco. Whatever music you play in the disco, that's up to your discretion. But that's disco.
Hell yeah.
And so that's just what we're trying to do, man. We're trying to replicate the most purest scenario to play music the way it should be played for people to enjoy.
Yeah.
So, the speakers that we use are some Klipsch Lescott speakers, and which is normally what you would find in like an audiophile living room with some dude that's like listening to like very rare Japanese jazz or
them bad boys are like 100 pounds a piece, right?
Very, very heavy. I mean, they're horn loaded, bro. They're horn loaded. They're originally, they were designed by Klipsch in Oklahoma, and to this day, I would say there's no better speaper.
I was looking them up today, man. I did a little research on them, and they are. That's exactly what everybody says is what you just said, man. Are those so? How old are those, man? You say they're fucking vintage for sure. Are those
83? The pair that we have are from 83, but I have updated the crossovers. There's this guy called Bob. His name's Bob Kreitz in Oklahoma, and this dude has dedicated his whole entire life to Klipsch speakers.
Okay,
and really, these Klipsch Lescalas, and there's some other ones, the Klipsch horns, whatever. But he makes new, because they don't make parts for them no more. Okay. But Bob Kreitz does, and the reason they don't make parts for them anymore is because Bob Kreitz makes better parts. So even if you call Klipsch and you ask them for something, they're gonna tell you go to Bob Kreitz. So I've got new crossovers on them. I've got new tweeters for them, and new horns. So they're basically. They're brand spanking new, really. But dude, they're beautiful.
How'd you come across those? Where'd you pick those up at?
I've been looking for them for 10, 15 years, man, and I've never been able to find any. And then finally, we rolled upon a what do they call an estate sale?
Oh yeah.
and they were
R.I.P.
like auctioning. Yeah, and they were auctioning off like all the main parts, and I
Mm-hmm.
saw these clips, and me and Mondo were like, dude, we need to have them, and we picked them up. And I
Nice.
actually, was it right before Christmas, like a week before Christmas, Mondo went to some place in Oklahoma and picked up another pair. So now we have 4 clips.
Whoa! All right,
Ready to
man. That's
rock.
that's mad. That's bad business right there, man. You are 4 of them. You are. That's. Are you ready for takeoff?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, are you guys ready for takeoff? But that's the thing. It's like, so what these speakers do really, and I mean, the best way I could describe it, man, is they're magic, man.
Hit 'em.
They're
Hit 'em.
They make you not only listen to the music, they make you feel the music, because it's a horn, so it's organic, and it's being pushed at you in an organic, loving way. There's nothing digital about it. So it's like almost even kind of massaging you in like a molecular level, because it is in one way or another going through your physical body.
Yeah, the
There's
vibration.
if you look up Klipsch La Scala, and you look up look up Klipsch La Scala, Cosmo Murphy.
Do that,
Cosmo
Freaks and
Murphy
Geeks.
is this woman. She lives in LA, I think. No, I'm sorry. I mean New York, or either
Okay.
New York or the UK. She does an event in the UK in a church, and it's basically like a listening party. And there's videos of it on YouTube if you look her up. And there people will go into the church, and they sit in the church, and they just play a record. And some people, it's like, bring a record and we'll play it in there, and they'll pick a certain record, and people, you'll see on the video, people are sitting there and they're crying.
Mm-hmm.
From just listening to this music off of these Klipsch La Scalas. Like, it's different. And people always have the argument that, no, well, digital now has actually gotten to the point where it surpasses the levels that analog could ever be.
Yeah.
And it's true, but people are still buying records. People still want to feel the way vinyl sounds.
Buddy, I think that La Scala and that sound that you describe, it transitions into even on the fucking Mixcloud updates.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can hear that if you listen.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that there is a clarity there that like, why was it there? Now I kind of have some understanding as to why, because of the I guess the magic of those bad boys. But yes, I would definitely
and
agree.
everything's going to be intention, man. Like if you go to Taco Bell and you buy a bean and cheese burrito and you eat it, and then you go home and you compare it to a bean and cheese burrito that your mom made you,
Mm-hmm.
you already know which one's going to be better.
Yeah.
But why is it better? It's basic ass ingredients. It's just a fucking tortilla.
Mm-hmm.
It's just cheese and beans. But the one your mom made is better. And the reason for that is because she put intention into it, and she put love into it.
Yeah.
So then in turn, she puts the love and the intention into it, and then you eat it, and you're eating not only the food, but you're eating the love and the intention. You're ingesting that power into it, and that's where it turns into magic. Because when the producer is making the record, they're putting love and intention into it. When they press the record and they master the record, they're putting love and intention to it. When Mondo picks the record out of the and gives it to me to play it, he's putting love and intention to it.
Yeah.
And I in turn put it on there and I put love and intention to it. Then the speakers blast it. So that's what makes it different, man. That's what makes it different.
Those speakers are great.
Uncomparable. You cannot replicate that in any way whatsoever in any digital. Find me the most top-notch digital sound system, and it will not replicate it. It will not.
That's hot action. What about this custom headphone stick? I see you vibing, just doing your fucking thing. Tell me about this. Like, how long you had this thing?
Man.
Why'd you get that? What's up with it?
I like to call it my Jedi stick, man, because I've always growing up, I've dedicated my life to this music, you guys. Like I can't, like it's like on some Buddhist monk type levels. Like it's crazy, but I've learned a lot from it. And part of it has been, studying the masters at it that have done it before my time. So there's people like Louis Vega in New York. There's DJ Harvey from the UK. There's Doc Martin in Los Angeles. There's like all these ninja masters in DJing that I've spent years and years and years of seeing how they do things and what they do with it and stuff. And they all use a lollipop earphone.
Whoa.
And all my life, I've always been like, how do they do that? And like, even at one of my earphones broke, and then I tried to make a lollipop myself, and I completely failed. And I've always wanted one. Because I see the masters. That's what they all use. These maestros.
Definitely.
And we started Debbie, and just when you put intention, like you do something, the universe is going to respond to you. You put one step forward and the universe is going to put 10 steps forward. So then we were building the Disco Bunny sound system and putting all this effort into trying to keep the signal that we're releasing very, very pure. Then all of a sudden we run in through social media to the dude that makes them for all of the maestros. And it's this guy, Uriel, in New York City. And he did he's a light guy. So the way you have DJs working mixers like this, there's a mix board specifically for the lights in these like really big top-notch clubs.
Okay.
And they put as much art and effort into the lights. So that's Uriel.
Yeah.
And we were able to run into him and order a lollipop from the dude that makes them for all the maestros.
Man, that's
so
right there.
it's got some power to it because this dude, puts the love into it.
It's got that mojo right there.
So yeah, that's
the
how
sauce.
Yeah, but I mean, but what's so weird is that, like, I've been looking for one for years, and throughout all those years, I was never able to even discover who this guy Uriel was. And it's just when the time was right, it pops up, and it just showed up into my life. You know what I mean? Same way with the Clips La Scalas. Like it wasn't, I've been looking for them for years and been wanting them since I could remember. And it wasn't until now that they've just landed on our laps, literally. So Debbie's is something very, very special. And I think when we get back to a point where humanity could start congregating again and dancing, we're gonna appreciate how important this really is for us, for our health, for everything. And I think Debbie's gonna play a key part in that.
Good.
In one way or another, at least for this region.
Yeah.
And that's what we're gonna try to do. So
I can't wait. That sounds exciting, man.
Like you said, it's very deep, man. I get very, very deep into music and the way it should be played. Yeah.
Nice.
Very heavy.
Tell me like a few more talking points, a few more just points of Debbie. How far have you taken that? Have you gone? Has it strictly stayed in the state? Have you branched out anywhere else? Has it strictly stayed in the Dallas area, or what's up?
Yeah. So we had a very, very hot 2019, and we were just. I'm confident enough in it to say that, dude, we were blowing up in 2019 with, like, no cap, like, without even being arrogant or nothing. It's just because it was just I'm telling you, it started at a loft party at my friend's house with 20 people, and then it went to 50 people, and then at the first one at Trade Winds, and then from 50 people it went to 100 people, and the Valentine's party we had 250 people, and it was just on this natural progression. Right. And so in March, we were scheduled to go do a Debbie in Phoenix. I actually got booked by a promoter in Phoenix to bring the whole entire thing out to Phoenix and throw a party over there. And then from there, we were already in negotiations with some people in Austin to do a warehouse party in Austin for South by Southwest.
Fucking.
And then from there,
damn.
excuse me, we were planning on going to Miami. Like it was this trajectory. We had the path of trajectory was set, bro, and we were just waiting for it to happen.
Yeah.
We already knew we had our 3 months steps already planned out, and we were just waiting for that to happen, man. And then the lockdown happened. So it was hard on all of us because it's not just me, it's not just my friend Mondo, that it's a big group of us. There's all the Debbie girls, all of them. It's like about 13 people total that make this, that help put it all together, and it's 13 people of just like putting all their heart into it, just gushing everything into it, man. But with that being said, you know, we've got big plans. We've got very big plans for when things do open up. We want to be, it's a medicine that I think humanity and our people and everybody's going to need, is to be able to just get out there and dance, because you know, emotions are a real thing, you guys. Okay. Don't think, a lot of us think that
sweep them under the rug or something.
Sweep them under the rug.
Yeah.
Exactly. You can't do that. Nah. There's only 3 ways to release emotion.
Hit them.
Okay. One of them's laughing.
Okay.
One of them's crying, or the other one is dancing. That's the only 3 ways. Laugh it off, cry it off, or dance. If you don't do either of those 3 things, you're carrying this weight on your heart and your soul, and you just got to let it go sometimes. And so I think by dancing through Debbie Does Disco, by us creating this disco environment for people to really let go of everything, you know, if you're under the disco, like if you go to the Mixcloud page, you'll see a picture that I have up here, and that's kind of the scenario that we want to create with Debbie.
Purpled out.
You want to create an optimal space for you to just lose yourself and dance off all this extra weight and all this extra emotion and heavy, weird shit that's been going on, you know. So
I was vibing the fuck out of it. Well, it's like I said last night, I was closing off the evening and fucking, I was like, let me listen to homies joints, and I was just fucking sitting on the fucking bed, just vibing. I go on my walk in the morning. I'm like, all right, we're gonna listen to more shit, and I'm fucking the fucking lower portion is just fucking walking, the upper portion is just vibing. Oh, it was excellent. Hit the fucking Freaks and Geeks. Hit the fucking Mixcloud. Debbie Does Disco. There's a lot of shit on there. Amazing. Hours of fucking entertaining content right there. Just for
and you could put it on and dance if you want, or you could put it on and sit down and meditate if you want. You could put it on and do some, you know, while you work during the day, while you're driving. Like this isn't that. Well, the July one, maybe that one might be some like more funky stuff.
I have not heard the June one out. Tomorrow's for June. Okay.
But
the July one, the July one was a slapper.
Yeah, but it's there's going to be something there for whatever type of vibe or situation that you're in, that it's going to complement whatever you got going on. You know, it's you'll enjoy it. I put a lot of effort into selections to record, so
good.
Enjoy them.
Good. That's a lot on the fucking Debbie Does Disco stuff, man.
I know. Man. I'm sorry, but like really, like
I needed that.
I'm like a disco ninja samurai, dude. Like I take it that deep. Like I live it, I breathe it. I want to honor it the same way that it's given so much to me. I want to give it back. Yeah. So,
I hope you get out there to Japan, bud. I hope you get to check that fucking vibe out and bro. Hit that scene. Me too. I'd be excited. I'd be excited for you to do that. We got a couple of more, a few more segments, man. That was a good section. Let's we're live here. Let's change the subject and let's go on into meditation and focus. So you've discussed it a little bit, and I myself, we were talking before we hit the old start button there. And sharing some insights and sharing some practices, but you made the to infuse the Debbie mix. You made a meditation mix. I don't want to ask you about that mix, but walk me or tell me about your meditation ventures and when did you start this?
So I've been meditating since probably 2016, but kind of just kind of going through the motions of it. Not really ever did I really grasp like the power, or I just never really grasped it. And it was just kind of more of like a thing like, okay, well, I feel like kind of relaxing, so I'm going to meditate real quick and to help me relax. But it wasn't until, I guess, like the past, okay. So when I closed Epocha, I lost everything. And I'm talking about everything, you guys. Like, I sold my vehicle, I sold my truck to try to keep it going because Deep Ellum changed. A lot of things changed, and the retail business is very, very hard. But I gave it my all. Like I put all in, and I lost it all. At the end of the day, I ended up auctioning everything off, and it was like $45,000 worth of like inventory that ended up auctioning off for like $3,000. It was pretty bad. But that put me in a situation where it was just me by myself. And I had a lot of time to just kind of sit with myself and just kind of inflect. And at that point, I was like hearing a lot of, I was looking for answers and like positivity. So I was like delving through, I started going to church and hearing different podcasts of different pastors talking about different things and just trying to find something, and I wasn't finding it. And so more and more, I started kind of more reflecting into myself. And if I could be honest, what ended up happening was when things shut down, I saw a meme on Instagram.
All right.
And the meme said, real talk, has anybody done DMT and try to ask coronavirus like why it's mad? And I started laughing and I was like, what the fuck? That's funny, man. Has anybody tried that for real though? And just kept with that thought, and I was with a buddy of mine. It was his birthday and it was St. Patrick's Day, right when things were about to shut down. And I was hanging out with him, and it just kept on lingering in my head. And I have a buddy that for years, like for probably like 5 years, he's been telling me about that stuff. And it never occurred to me that, I'd want to ever try it or anything, but it just kept lingering on me. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do that.
Yo.
And I called him up.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, do you, I remember you told me one time that you had this DMT stuff. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, well, I want to try. He's like, oh, shit, are you for real? And I was like, yeah, you know what? I think I do. He's like, I really don't recommend it because, it's going to, what you're around and what you're feeling is what it's going to take you into. And things are kind of weird right now in this situation. And I was like, well, that's why I want to do it. And long story short, I did. And with the intention, because you're supposed to go into it with the intention of ask it something. So I asked it, what is this that's going on? Why is it going on? And the first part I remember it at all, which I don't remember much of it because even if like the stuff I do remember, there's literally no language or any way that you could describe it, like at all. There's nothing to that level that could even get close to describing it. But so the first thing that happened was like, it noticed that I was there. And I was like, what? Brandon, is that you? Brandon, oh my God, Brandon. Okay. Look. I know you came in here and you wanted to know about this, but I don't want to talk about that. Look at this. And
whoa.
So it didn't even want to spend a second talking about it. It
Entertaining.
didn't even want to explain to me why it didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And it just took me, and it just showed me how profound. Like, I've always been a God. I believe in God. I'm super grateful for God for everything. And I always thought I believed in God. I had no idea. Until after that. Like, now, like, my belief in God has like magnified by like infinity after that. And that's what it showed me. It showed me how profound and how it's incomprehensible. There's no words eloquent enough to describe God. And it showed me that. And then it showed me that the closest thing that we have to God is love. And that's what our purpose is here, is just to figure out ways to, no matter what, as hard and as cruel and as ugly the world could be sometimes, your goal is to create love and be love and give love and spread love and all that stuff. And that's like
the Brooklyn way.
That's the only, it's the Brooklyn way. And ever since then, now I meditate like every day.
Man,
I don't know what it was. Like, it changed me. Like, for the first 2 weeks afterwards, I couldn't cuss.
Okay.
Like, I couldn't even say shit. I would be like, holy moly.
Yeah.
And like, I just couldn't. Like, it was weird. And it's because
I can understand that.
Yeah, I couldn't. Like, I just felt like I was in the presence of God, and like, it was
not
just
a
like,
need. There's not a need.
Yeah, there wasn't. And so then from that, I came out of it realizing that I want to be as close to God as I could possibly ever be, and that needs to be my main mission. So it brings me back to what my whole life has been, which is house music and playing. And I think of, what is the epitome? What am I continuing to try to achieve when I'm playing music and I'm doing these disco parties? It's because I remember situations where, you've had a shitty day, work sucked, your friends pick you up, you go to this party, and you're in the middle of the dance floor and you're looking up and you see the disco ball, and you just lost all of your problems and your worries.
Hey, there it is.
You're in the moment, and you're under the disco ball, and you're just in the moment, and everything has gone away. And you, at that point right there, are as close to God as you could ever possibly be. Then compare any church pew.
You're doing that, bud.
And that's what. So then I realized that. So my meditation, when I'm meditating, because there's no right or wrong way to meditate. Nobody could show you how to do it. If anybody's trying to show you how to do it, don't listen. You could hear advice, and you could, okay, I might try that too. But like, so my meditation has always been sitting under the disco ball and just losing myself in the music. And so when I'm sitting down and I'm meditating, that's what I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on being Brandon under the disco ball, just where I've lost complete touch with all this physical, which is all fucking bullshit, and it's just a fake matrix reality.
Yeah, it's all a ride.
It's all a ride. And just get back in touch with just myself and the music and just God. And so when I'm meditating, I'm trying to practice. I'm trying to get back to the level that I was close to God when I was on DMT, which is impossible. And I've heard people say that they're, like the Buddhist monks that are up there in the fucking Himalayan mountains that are like fasting for 40 days in a cave in the cold. They say that they're achieving it, and I believe they are. But I'm not trying to do that. I don't know if you've heard of the Wim Hof method. That guy Wim Hof.
No, tell us about it.
So he is into like ice baths.
Okay.
Where freezing fucking cold, you get yourself into the ice bath, and then by doing special type of breathing, which it's not even very hard. It's just breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, but with intention, and do that 30 times, and then hold your breath, and then hold it for a minute, and then release and then do 30 minutes again. People are reaching DMT levels by doing stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah. There's a dude that I heard a podcast on where he went on a light fast, where he went, I don't know where, somewhere like in the fucking Siberia or something. And these people have like this house, and that's what they do. And you go into a room in complete darkness for six days. No light, no sound, nothing. Like they bring you food, and they have like a room in between where they open the door, they come in, they put your food, they go, they close the door. When you open your door, you don't see no light. Jeez. So for 6 days, you're sitting there with no light, right? Mm-hmm. And they're seeing things even more profound than DMT. Whoa. So really, so my point is, there's no right or wrong way. People are doing it in different methods. The whole point of doing of it all is that do it, try it. Like, how much time do you spend a day getting a good connection with you and your social media followers? How much time of the day do you spend getting a good connection with you and you're with yourself, really?
Yeah.
We don't spend no time on that.
Yeah.
We spend, we're human beings, because we're a human and a being. And we spend all our time satisfying the human part and neglecting our being.
Look at that. Listen,
but you're human and a being.
Yeah.
So you gotta spend some time on your being part, which is the infinite part. Because you're human, you're gonna end up losing your human spaceship.
Agree.
Your spacesuit after a while.
The vessel, the joint, the get up.
Your vessel, yeah. But your being will continue.
Yeah, man, that's power right there.
Spend some time with it. Spend some time becoming familiar with your true self.
Hell yeah.
And spend that time. And the closer you get to yourself, the closer you get to God.
Yeah.
Because you are God. You are a part of God.
Yeah. Man.
So.
Whoa, but that's power right there.
Dude, meditation is, man.
Do you do it? So I've been practicing a little bit, but I've been practicing eyes open. Do you do eyes open or eyes closed?
So what I do and what works for me is I sit down Indian style. I put some pillows under me. I get comfortable. I turn off all the lights. And I put some earphones on. I have these wireless Beat by Dre's.
Okay.
Really good sound. There's no wires that are hanging on me or anything, because it's just wrapped here.
Yeah.
And then that's why I made that meditation mix. I listen to music because music helps me lose myself. The point is, lose yourself in one way or another, whether you lose yourself through music or you lose yourself through darkness like that guy, or you lose yourself through ice like Wim Hof, or you lose yourself like those monks in Siberia. The whole point is lose yourself. And you're not losing yourself. You're losing your human part and allowing your being to be. Lose that. Just be your being.
Man.
It doesn't matter how. So that's what I do. So I sit down and I put the music in, and then I focus on, because of course, a lot of people think meditation is quiet your mind.
Yeah.
Don't think. Dude, how the fuck are you ever going to not think?
Yeah.
That's your brain. Your brain's made to think. You're going to think about something. So you can't stop it from thinking, but you can control what it thinks about.
Agree.
So then a lot of people say, okay, when your mind's fucking, you had a crazy day at work and you're trying to meditate and you're sitting there and all you're thinking about is how your coworker pissed you off. Personalize it and be like, hey, I caught myself thinking about some petty human shit. So now I'm going to make the intention to stop thinking about it and instead think about my breathing.
Yeah. Focus on the breath.
Yeah, focus on the breath. And then, dude, that is like a complete slap in the face to your ego, because your ego is the one telling you to think about that conversation or that argument you had with your coworker.
Yeah.
Right. So then now you've turned around and you've told your ego, fuck you. I'm not listening to you. I'm instead going to think of something so simple as just breathing. And your ego is going to be like, what the fuck? Oh,
yeah.
You're going to think about breathing instead of listening to me? Yes. And that's when you start gaining control, because then now you're going to, the more and more that you do that, now you're going to be able to keep your fucking ego on check even when you're not meditating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because your ego is your number one enemy, man. Your ego is the one that's made you do all the stupid shit that you've done in your life. Your ego is the one that tells you that you ain't shit, that you don't deserve nothing, that, that's your ego. That's your human part. But your being is infinite. Your being could do whatever it wants if you really apply it and you put yourself to do it,
Definitely.
But so yeah, I do it through music. Some people do like silence. Some people like those baths, the sound baths, those dongs.
Oh yeah, I like those. I'd love to have one of those, man.
Yeah.
It's a sound bath? That's what you call
sound
it?
bath is what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a buddy who likes to he goes on YouTube and there's videos of certain sound frequencies.
Yes.
So like I forget the different types of hertz, and it's just like a constant sound of a certain hertz of sound. And he really likes that. He's reached a lot of breakthroughs through that.
Have you ever done the float? The water
No, but I want to.
Yeah, I'd like
to.
I
would love to. I just haven't. Yeah, sound deprivation. So it's kind of similar as what I was talking about. That one dude, did it to the extreme.
Have you ever been in one of those? It's an infinity room. Is that what they call it? Or the room? You ever heard of those? They make this fucking obsolete, just fucking soundproof, silent room. These big recording heads, and I forget what the fuck it's called specifically. But you go, god damn, it's got to be infinity something. But you walk in there and you hear, I don't know, you hear nothing. I guess you know what I'm saying. It's a complete.
Yeah. I've heard it's so quiet you could hear your heart beating.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. That's intense. I mean, it's all part of the human experience, and I'd be down to try it too. I mean, it's like if you live your whole human being experience just living the human part.
Yeah.
It's like living your whole life with one of your hands tied behind your back.
Yeah.
And it's not saying that you can't have a good life. You could have a good life with just, using your one hand. But why only use one hand when you could use two hands? And so that's part of it. Don't just use your human part of yourself. Use your being, man. To help you. And it'll help you. My life has changed ever since I started really, really meditating. Like it's the same thing as like prayer. Yeah. If you look at prayer as like a chore, and a lot of people do that, like they pray and all they're doing is they're just kind of going through the motions.
Yeah.
But they're not praying. It's like they go and they sit by their bed and they're like, okay, say an Our Father. What is that going to help you?
Just doing, just going through the motions.
Yeah, you're just going through the motions.
Doing it to do it.
Yeah. But any situation that you're in, any situation that is deep and meaningful, you don't do it with your eyes open. When you kiss somebody you love, you close your eyes. When you're crying, you close your eyes. When you're praying, you close your eyes. When you meditate, you close your eyes, because that is the real reality. When your eyes are open, this is the human reality.
Look at you, man.
It's the human part.
Whoa, that's it. I can
see everything,
it. I can get it now. I can kind of see it now.
Yeah,
man. I usually eyes open, but
what do you do? What do you look at? Do you have like a little shrine type of setup that you have? Or
No, I often do it here in the studio at Life or Death. That's what the spot here is called. But I just got stuff
yeah,
in front of me, so I kind of just focus on. I don't try to consider what I'm looking at, but I just look into the front,
yeah.
uh, focus on the breath. Like I say, do you have a hand? What do you do with your hands?
I just put them down on and I do the I forget what these are called.
Have you ever heard of this one where you take
But you
the?
know, it's kind of an
You heard of this one? Let me see. You take that one right there.
yeah, and I'll do this sometimes, which is kind of
Oh,
back towards you know, I
I
think
like that
every
one. That's
religion
cool.
had it right in some yeah, some way or another, you know, like so when I get really deep into it and then I start so I think my theories on it is meditation is preparing yourself and getting you to the point that you need to be to pray.
Mm,
And then prayer leads to manifestation
okay.
because it's like, okay, you want something, you got to pray about it. But again, like it goes back to saying, like most people, when they're praying, they're just kind of going through the motions. Like, dude, like you're about to ask God for something.
Yeah, for something.
Do you just go into like your like if you're gonna go ask your boss for a raise, do you just go in there and you're like, hey,
Nah,
bro,
give me the bread.
give me a raise, please? Bye.
Yeah.
No, you take time. You get, hey, boss, I'd like to talk to you at this time. Okay. And then you get there and you already kind of have your game plan set up and you're like, look, you know, this year's been great. I did this, I did this, I did this. You have a game plan
Yeah.
and then you dress yourself up. You're there to present yourself. So you got to present yourself to God too.
Hmm.
So the way you do that is not by dressing yourself up. It's creating, getting your everything in the right position, in the right mind state, which to me is getting as close to him as you could possibly be. And
Yeah.
by being close to God, it's by being righteous, you know, by doing good things, by being a person, being a good father, being a good brother, a good friend, you know, whatever it is, you know, and being good to yourself mostly,
Yeah.
which is what I've noticed is one of the biggest things that I mess up on. You have to be good to yourself and um, get through that. Then it gets you into the position to where it's like, okay, now you could pray and you could start asking for what you're trying to manifest because through the meditation you've aligned yourself to be like you're supposed to be, you know, you're aligned, your chakras or whatever,
Yeah.
you're aligned and you're closer to God, which then in point you're closer to being a part of the universe. So if you're aligned with the universe and you're asking for something from the universe, then it's going to find its way to you by being aligned with it, you
Yeah.
know.
I see it. Yeah.
You were talking about Bruce Lee
Hmm.
earlier, be like water, you
Yes.
know, and yeah, you know, water, you can't swim against the water. You gotta swim with the current of it.
Yeah.
And then if there's something, you know, that's in the current there that you want, how are you gonna get it? Okay, well, let me kind of paddle this way a little bit so I could get to the point to where when the current hits,
Yeah.
I grab it,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
That
know.
water thing is crazy,
So I
man.
think that's what
Uh,
all that
after
yeah.
reading a couple of just pages from that book, they describe like think about a leak in your house and the water. It's like it's not the leak isn't doing anything. The leak might not start from the end point, but that water just goes and goes and goes, following whatever
Mhm.
path, following whatever trail, and it just goes with it. And that's as far as I've come on the text so far. Uh, but I do have one
Yeah.
question in the focus in the meditation, but regarding a
Yeah.
text, not necessarily specifically on focus and meditation, but what is one book that you would say everyone should read in their lifetime?
Wow.
And if one is too much, throw out a couple. Or record?
Yeah, well, it'd be, man, I could go on and on with those. Books, Indian in the Cupboard is big for me.
Yeah.
My Side of the Mountain was big for me. I don't know if you ever read that one.
I did not.
And yeah, My Side of the Mountain is a good one. And Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance is really good.
I did not read that. I never heard of that.
Oh, read that one, dude. It's
I'll
good.
have to check that out.
And then music. Just all of it. All music, just listen to it, man. It's people putting,
Creative expression
into, it's expression that's being documented.
It's the being. I think it's the being. That's a being coming out, I feel.
Yeah, and capturing it, being able to capture it on like a piece of wax, like in our situation, I mean, like, dude, that's precious, man.
Yeah.
So much emotion now in a physical form that can be shared, so beautiful, man. But if like I had to choose an album, like if something were happening and I only was able to keep one album, probably be Anita, Rapture.
Okay.
And if not, Stevie Wonder Inversions. If I had to, so that was what the first Debbie mix was on, which is the May one. I believe it's May. That was the very first one. Yeah, May 2020. That was, we had just gone
Debbie
into the lockdown. We didn't know what was going on. Yeah, Debbie Loves You.
Damn, that's May 2020. Is that like a goodbye?
And
like not necessarily a goodbye, but it sounds like we'll hold the fucking,
like if I leave,
down.
If I were to die, these records I want people to listen to.
Yeah, that's great.
That one, and it's so that one is different from all the other ones because each record is really an edit by the original guy who engineered all of those records. So like one of those records in there is Lou Rawls, You'll Never Find Another Love Like Mine. You'll never find another love like mine. I don't know if you'll recognize it when you hear it.
Yeah.
Which is old school Philly sound. And so Tom Moulton, which is the guy's name, the editor, he was the original engineer of all of those Philly sound records that were done back in the day with Gamble and Huff. Everything from like, the OJs. He mastered, did all of those and did the final edits. So, an edit means is, you have your whole band in the studio and you're like, hey, drummer, hit me with a couple of licks, so then they record like 10 minutes worth of the drummer just kind of jamming. Right. Yeah. So then the final engineer has all this tape and he decides what gets put on the 3-minute radio edit that's going to go on the radio. So sometimes out of that 10 minutes, maybe only a loop of like 4 seconds gets put on the radio edit that we originally heard. So in 2016, they got Tom Moulton to come back into the studio with all the original tapes, and he made every single record from a 3-minute record to an 11-minute record. So songs like Lou Rawls, You'll Never Find, or like the OJ's, I Love Music, sweet, sweet music. I know you know that one. So that record, when we originally heard it, it's like 3 minutes on the radio, in and out. He turns it into an 11-minute ride.
Whoa.
To a song that, you're very familiar with. It was very profound in my upbringing and in my music journey. And then now to be able to hear 11 minutes worth, that gives the artists plenty of time to really tell the story of what they were wanting to say in the song. So on that mix, that main mix, every single one of those songs on that record, on that mix, are these extended re-edits by Tom Moulton.
Dang.
So the original guy is now able to, okay, you know, you came and you gave us this amazing discography of music. Now we're going to give you plenty of time to really tell us about it.
Yeah.
And he does. It's in all of those records. So
we're going to have to check him out, man. Got to check him out.
That one's special. That one's very special.
Oh.
The extended disco edits, bro. That's the ultimate record you could get if you could get it.
Yeah.
Jeez. At least for me. That's like me, like the vinyl nerd music junkie that I am. That's what I'm constantly looking for. I want the extended edit from like the original studio session.
Boom. Ooh. Yeah. Those rough cuts, man. Those deep cuts, those solid cuts. I got a fucking little crate of records right here. You influenced me. I had to grab my records. It's like they're talking. He's talking about you, but
hell yeah,
that's sick, man. I don't have a smashing collection,
good,
but I was
like,
hey, records, get over here, come here.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Nice, man. Yeah.
That's tremendous, bud. So, thank you so much. We got the last little thing, the little conclusion. We talked a lot here, but I'm very thankful. You told me you caught me up on what's going down. You told me about your upbringing, your upcoming. We spoke on the fucking the time that period of time, and then we talked about Debbie. Who is Debbie? You'll have to find out until next time. And then we talked about the meditation. Beautiful stuff. Let's just close it out. You got any shout outs? You got any spots that you cherish? You want to talk, leave the Freaks and Geeks with? And also, where can they find you at?
All right. You could find me. I don't have a Facebook. I fucking hate Facebook. I do have an Instagram though, which is going to be Brandon_Epocha. I usually try to share clips of records that I feel like people should listen to or have heard, or if not heard, or heard and forgot about. But I post a lot of music on there. You'd enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I also post about things about me and my son. You know, I'm a father, and I love being a father. And but you could find me there whenever I do post new music. I'll post on it there through Instagram too, or any events that I have. And then of course the Mixcloud. I'm trying to provide everybody with some content once a month, which usually it's about a 2-hour mix. Each mix is going to be different. I'm just trying to.
Are you doing video?
I have so much music I want to share with everybody. I'm sorry?
Are you doing video on those?
No, I'm working on that. I'm working on doing some live stream type of situations.
Cool. Keep on
going. So that's how you could find me. As you know, shout outs. I want to shout out, you know, just whoever's listening. I want to shout out you. I want to take a moment to that, or for everybody to take a moment to kind of just shout out yourself. All right. Guys, like we were talking about earlier, a lot of times with emotions, we just try to kind of sweep them under the rug. Don't do that. You know, take some time.
Don't bottle
with yourself. Yeah. Shout out yourself. Say, self, you know, this is some crazy shit that I'm going through, but look, we're making it. You know, be proud of yourself. You're making it. You're doing the best you can. That's what everybody's doing right now, man. Nobody knows. Yeah, nobody knows what the fuck's going on or what's gonna happen. But as long as you are trying your best, bro, that's it. And as long as everybody else is trying their best, don't be judging people, because that's what they're doing. They're trying to do their best. So always remember that, you know, at the end of the day, people are trying to do their best, including yourself, including myself. And like I was saying, there's no right way. There's no wrong way, because wrong ways are going to teach you lessons. Just keep doing the best you can, man. And we're all going to be okay. we're all going to be okay. We're going to be better, and things are going to be, the world's changing, but I think it's changing for the best. And if you close your eyes enough and you meditate on it, you're going to see that that's true. Because when your eyes are open and you're looking at all this human shit, which is social media, CNN, Fox News, fucking Trump's doing this and Trump's doing that, and Biden this and all. Dude, fuck all of that. Okay? Fuck it all. Okay? It doesn't matter. Close your eyes. Close your eyes, and you're going to see what really matters. Yourself. Yeah. Better yourself so that you could better your children, so that you could better the future. And, honestly, whether we do it or not, it's going to happen anyways. The world is changing for the better, whether people like it or not. So just be prepared for that. Prepare yourself for it. Prepare yourself to be grateful for it when it does come, so that way you don't miss the wave. And just keep doing the best that you can, man. Big ups to you, whoever is listening right now, and give yourself a pat in the back because you're doing good.
Stand the fuck up. Get ready. Be counted. And go out every day, man.
Yeah.
Good. Oh,
yeah.
Buddy. Brandon, I appreciate it, man. It's we got to call it. Oh, is that your what the fuck? Is that your what is that? Is that your not a mixing board? What that's the one of the final pieces of the glue right
this
there,
one here?
right? Yeah, what is that?
This one?
Yeah.
This is so it's a glorified sound card, honestly.
Okay. I think I'm gonna move up to that one, man.
When you're doing vinyl. Yeah. When you're doing vinyl, it's not digital, like I was saying. So you need to figure out a way to plug it into a computer if you're trying to record or anything like that. So I could have gotten a just a little sound card that you just plug in USB, but you know me, I got to go all in. And then it made sense because now, I never had a microphone before. Now I got a mic. I could plug it in there. I've got different channels. I could plug up to 4 turntables on there, computer. It's cool. It's a Pyle Pro. And,
Pyle Pro?
It was actually really Pyle, Pyle. Okay. And I was very hesitant because it's not the most expensive one. It's actually the cheapest one. I think I found it on Amazon for like low key $140.
I might have to jam on that, B. I gotta jam on that because I gotta move up. I only got 2 channels. And
it is sick. I was scared because of it being so cheap that it was gonna be a piece of shit. Dude, it is awesome.
I might have to step up on that. That looks nice.
I'll send you the link. I'll send you the Amazon link, bro. I highly recommend it.
Appreciate it.
And at first I was looking at an Allen and Heath one, which is, probably like 3 times more expensive than this one. And I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. So check it out.
Hell yeah, man. Well, thank you, B. Brandon, thank you so fucking much, man. I really appreciate it. Loved catching up. I gotta roll up there sometime soon. I haven't been up in Dallas and Denton Way in a little minute, so I gotta catch up there and see what's going down. I do want to tell you this. You've got you smashed this one out the park, guy. Like you just
cool.
You fucking tore the fucking skin off the ball, guy. I've never seen that before.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
If you enjoyed it, please come back again. Tremendous fucking episode. Really dropped a lot of insight, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of just a lot of that being. So thank you. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks for giving me an opportunity, man. Like, I just want to spread good love and positive messages and, and so you've just given me an opportunity to be able to do that and talk about things that I love. So thanks, man. Thanks.
Thank you very much. All right, bud. So I'm going to close this one out. Just hold on a second, and then we'll see you out at the door, and then that'll be it for the rest of the evening. Well, Freaks and Geeks, that's all she wrote. Once again, I want to thank my guest for episode number 19 of the podcast, Brandon Ayala. We got so many good stories from Brandon. He told so much insight, spoke about life, spoke about your human, spoke about your being, spoke about the music, and just spoke about himself and the amazing things that he's a part of in his life. So, Brandon, thank you very much. Freaks and Geeks, make sure that you go follow Brandon on Instagram Instagram. Check out his IG. That's Brandon_Epocha. That's Brandon_EPOCHA. Check that out. Also, make sure you follow his disco project like we were talking about, Debbie Does Disco. Hit that IG up at Debbie Does Disco TX. Again, Debbie Does Disco TX. And go hit up Brandon. Tell him you heard him on the Doctor's Orders podcast with the 512 Foot Doctor. You really got down with this stuff. Also, don't forget the Mixcloud. You go over to Mixcloud and you can hear all of the mixes and all the disco recordings of him that we talked about. That Whiskey Nights, that's a solid one. There's Debbie Loves You. That's an amazing one. The Comfort Motel, some solid jams. And like we said, the Meditation Jam, the Meditation Mix as well. So Freaks and Geeks, go support Brandon, go support all of what he does. And if you venture back through in his IG, you might catch a glimpse of that period in time where peace and goodwill were had of Epocha. So hit him up, show him some love. That was Brandon Ayala for episode number 18. So for next week, it's the final episode of Volume 2 of the Doctor's Orders podcast with the 512 Foot Doctor. That is episode number 20. It's going to be an excellent episode. It's going to be a very special episode, a closure to the second chapter of the amazing things and the amazing people we're talking with on the podcast here. It's an old friend of mine. He's ventured into a lot of things in his life, and I'm glad we're going to get the opportunity to sit down with him in the studio of Life or Death and just talk some stories of his past, of the ride of his life. So he's dabbling into a lot of interesting things now. He's venturing into some entrepreneurial periods of his life. He's throwing down with some Mexican coffee and some Mexican pastries, but I know he's got a lot of cultural backgrounds and cultural appreciations and practices that we're definitely going to talk about. So that's next week, Freaks and Geeks, episode number 20. And now, the closing credits. Freaks and Geeks, thank you for listening. And remember, new episodes are released every Wednesday at 6 a.m. Hey, check it out. Do me a favor and go subscribe to the podcast on whichever platform you prefer. And make sure while you're there to rate and leave a comment as well. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram at the 512 Foot Doctor. That's THA 512 FOOTDR for all your podcast and sneaker footwear insights. And also follow the podcast IG. That's The Doctor's Orders Podcast. THADRSORDERSPODCAST. And continue, Freaks and Geeks, to tell any freak or geek you know about the podcast. Remember, the Doctor's Orders Podcast is a Life or Death Studios production. Freaks and Geeks, until next time, we'll see you on the next one. Don't be late.